Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Honey Flow Show. Really excited. This month has been really special, showcasing close to 40 women for International Women's Month. And this one is going to be definitely a different special for me, bringing on some, people some women, strong women that know me pretty well as well. And I just wanted to introduce each of them to you guys. She's First Lady T Rail. She's been married for 29 years. Her husband is DJ T Rail, which is pretty amazing. They've come through to my show. She's a postal carrier for UPS. She's been working there for 9 years. Interesting thing about her is she's the first African American to have her own route in office. So that's something we could definitely talk about. And she's also a missionary at her church. So we're going to definitely have so much to talk about. Bright Eye Sunflower. She's amazing. She's from the Netherlands. I love her. I love her energy. She does a show that no one else has, basically. She's Antiguan. She's born in the Netherlands. She's also an amazing motivational. She does an amazing motivational talk show, and she's a true soca dancer. This woman does handstands on the wall. She does the splits. She's in her 60s. She's an inspiration to me. She's worked in various fields too, so hotels, banks. She was a journalist, which is pretty interesting. I definitely want to ask her about that. She's been in management, and now she's in healthcare. She's an inspiration to all of us to show that you could do a show a bit differently, and that fitness is important. And you're never too old at any age to do what you love, and you can see the passion come through her show. And I've also learned a lot from her motivational show, on which she talks about, has really inspired me as well. We got Dr. Dady Priest coming soon as well in the next hour, so I'm going to intro her a little bit later. The last three women, guys, are really dear to my heart. They're not just friends of mine, but they're like family to me, definitely sisters. The next woman I'm going to introduce is Patricia. She's worked in the police service for 29 years, guys, in the HR department. She just retired. So she's going to be launching a consulting business in retirement planning. So if you guys are interested in retirement planning, make sure you get a hold of Patricia. She's a true teacher and mentor by heart. She taught basically a course that changed my life. It was called Experiencing God, and that was really life-changing for me. I've taken it twice with her and just watched her over the years. She's so open to people. She always says to me, bring them in from the highways and byways to her house. She's the type of person that will open up the door, give you a meal, and listen to you. And she just has a true passion to serve people, which I've always admired and I respected. I think you need women surrounding you in your corner of all ages, right? We can learn from older women and younger women, and just surrounding yourself with women that have good character and integrity and that are doing something in their community. And she's someone that I've definitely looked up to as a mentor and watched her life. And, I just love the way she is. The next person I'm going to introduce is a dear friend of mine. She is definitely a sister to me. It's Black Queen for life. She's by nature a real encourager to others. She's worked for the TTC, which is the Toronto Transit System here in Toronto. She drives streetcars. She drives, we call them handy trans in Winnipeg. She drives every kind of bus you could think of, right? A streetcar, probably a subway. She could probably drive you home. She's a very good driver. I'll just say that. She's worked there for many years. She's the type of friend, she's the perfect friend to tell you if you hit a pothole, guys, or if you're driving in another lane. She'll tell you calmly, you're in another lane, Honey Flow, right? She's very passionate about fitness. And she also launched an event planning business. So you could check her out on Instagram with all her events. She's a true encourager to people and a real friend that's going to have your back through thick and thin, and that's going to call you. If you do something wrong, she's the type of friend that will be honest with you, and that's why we love her so. That's why I love her so much too. One of the few friends that have really had my back in the last couple years through thick and thin. So I can't wait to bring her on. Now, last but not least, we got Miss Monroe in the building. She's the first person that I met when I stumbled into a church many years ago. For all you guys that know, with my ex boyfriend passing and the story I've shared so many times online, I literally just stumbled in a place by myself. And this woman was the first woman to just really, just talk to me. She was there just simply greeting me, talking to me. She's got a huge heart for people, guys. She's worked at the Salvation Army, which is the Peel Family Shelter. She always gives her time and service to others. She loves people with a true heart. And she, to me, is a real servant leader. So it doesn't really matter the position you have in life, whether it's on a stage or not, but she always has struck me as a person that does things where she doesn't need applause from people or man. Like, she could be greeting at the door. She could say hi to you in the parking lot. She just is open to everyone that's around her. And she doesn't care how old you are, what your background is. She is the type of person that will come up to you and talk to you and smuggle some free food for you. She's done that to me plenty of times. She's given me some free food. So she'll go in different places and smuggle food for you. There was times where I wasn't invited because I wasn't a senior or I wasn't a single mom. So I would pretend. I would walk into rooms and say, look, what about me? What about me? I need some food here. So she would be the first person to definitely do that for me. She's always got her car trunk filled with supplies for the homeless and for families and for people that need it. She's always serving people, and she does a really hard job working at a shelter. And she's a dear friend of mine as well. So enough talking from me. Let's bring them all in. And we're definitely going to start the show. I'm super excited. These are powerhouse women. Dr. Dady Priest is going to be coming as well. Make sure you welcome them, guys. They're new to Twitch. Some of them, and I can't wait. These women are so aligned together. I'm super excited. So let's bring them in. I hear music in the background. Is it okay if we turn it off? Like an echo. I don't know who has the TV or music on. Oh, okay, I think it's Patricia. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Great.
All right. Thanks for coming, you guys. I appreciate it. We see people coming through in the chat. We got Chi Chi. He's saying, they're saying, hi, Bright Eye Sunflower to you. We got, we're going to say Fukna on this show. We got him in the building. We got Missy B, favorite Trini coming through. Thanks, you guys, for coming through. I appreciate that. Can you guys see the comments? If you go to your right-hand side of the screen and you click comments, you'll be able to see all the comments coming through. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. All right. So I gave you guys a little bit of intro so, people could kind of get to know you guys a little bit better, but maybe we'll start because I miss a lot. So we'll start, going this way, I think. We'll start with Patricia. Thank you guys for joining me again. And the first question I have, just if you could kind of introduce yourself again, where you're from, and what projects and passions are you kind of currently working on, or what you kind of feel called to do as well. We'll maybe start with that question too.
Okay, so I'm originally Jamaican from the friendly city of Montego Bay. If you've ever been to my island, you will know that's the tourist mecca of the Caribbean, Montego Bay. And moved to Canada in 1993 and just loving it here. My passion, oh my gosh, I love people. I've been on mission trips. I've seen people that have been in situations that I consider myself to have been in when I was much younger. And so my passion is really for people and to see everybody just come out of this foolishness of poverty and just living good, clean lives and anything to educate people on how to become better selves or better who they are or in whatever shape or form. Honey Flo spoke earlier about me launching a retirement consulting company which it's already launched, and it's it's about helping. It's about telling people about retirement, the good things about retirement, because I'm retired, believe it or not. I am retired. And hello, mom, is that me? But anything to share good news. That's my passion out there, honey flow, is to share good news.
Awesome. I love that. And we got, let's see here. And of course, you could definitely go ahead too. We'll go right. So, Bright Eye, you can go ahead.
I'm Bright Eye Sunflower, and I'm a podcaster. I work in healthcare. I was born on the island of Antigua. I was partially raised on the island of St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Island. I travel a lot. I've lived in St. Martin, Curacao, England, here, but I have traveled extensively. Um, I speak 5 languages, and yeah, my passion is people. I love people. I love helping people. I got it from my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my grandmother used to say, "I have healing hands," and the only thing I ever wanted to do in life was healthcare. But my walk of life, or what I was created to do, took me through many paths. I started out in my mother's business at the age of 12. So I am customer service based. I got married at 19. I studied cosmetology at 23. I worked in hotels and reservations. I worked in offshore banking. I worked as a journalist. I was sent to Jamaica to study journalism at Mona campus. Oh my goodness, I worked in our aircraft industry, aircraft repair industry, in the prison system in Europe, the largest prison in Europe, in England, Wandsworth Prison. I've worked there as a family support worker, social work. And then I worked for the BBC for indirectly and directly. Then I moved to the Netherlands and I had to learn Dutch. So at 50 years old, I had to go back to school, learn a new language in order to work and survive and make my life what it needs to be. So I have traveled the road where I've learned that one of the most important things, if you're not working, volunteer. Volunteering open doors for you. It gets you in the door, people see what you can do, and it gives you an opportunity for work. So don't think, oh, I'm not giving away my service, I'm not doing anything for free, because in truth and in fact, it is enhancing your life. So after I moved here, I found out at 50, the work ethics here, it's more expensive to hire someone who are older. And therefore, my challenges were that even though I had diplomas, certificates, degree, whatever, and experiences, my stumbling block was I was over the age limit. It is cheaper to hire someone here that is younger than an older person. So I had my battles to fight with that, but I did it through volunteering. And I worked for the council here in security. I worked jointly alongside the police force here. I had to go to school for that. I had to learn profiling and all the different things and surveillance and all that. And when the council stopped that project, they asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I was volunteering at a nursing home and I think I'll go back there. And they said, well, you know what? We are putting a project in place to send people to school to learn nursing. And that is how, after 50 years of a dream, I finally got what I wanted, the work that I've always wanted, nursing. So I always say to people, when opportunities comes your way, take it. Don't ask why me. Don't say this wasn't what I wanted. Just do it. It's a learning process. Life is constant evolution. So, don't be afraid to be open to new things and just hold on to it and keep moving.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. That really helps too, because sometimes when you switch through life or you go through so many different jobs or different things, you're like, oh, did I fail at this? Or did this, how come this door is shut? Right. But I love what you said, and especially with the volunteering, that it's okay to go through life and have many things and switch your career or switch how you feel or even your purpose. Right. So I think that's great. I think that helps a lot of people. DJ Rock says right here, yeah, I agree. That's why I love listening to her, Bright Eyes. DJ Rock says wise words, bright sunflower. All right, so we are going
I was
to.
in his stream. He is a new DJ on Twitch.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
please, everybody, follow him. I was in his stream on Saturday, and he really brings a difference, and I like that. So
nice, DJ Rock Despot. All right, I'm going to check you
he's
after
in
too.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Oh,
Lady
my
G. We
sister is in the stream.
Lady G as well. So we're gonna get to Marilyn is no, that's okay. We're gonna get to Marilyn as well. So why don't you introduce yourself, and is there any passions or projects that maybe you have worked on or that you would still want to do?
Okay. I have been in Canada for nearly 49 years now, going on 50, which is a very long, long time. I'm originally from Guyana, beautiful Guyana, land of many waters. Anyway, yeah, so I've moved here. I've went through quite a few ups and downs, because when you're new to a place and you're not accustomed, to things, the way they do things, so it was kind of trying, really, because what I grew up with a grandmother, right? And they teach you certain things, right? And one of them, was respect, and love people. My grandmother was a servant at heart where people were concerned, so I learned that from her, of loving and serving, of helping wherever you can, doing, whatever you can, like to help someone, to walk alongside them, so, she always used to say to me, sometimes all that person need is someone to listen. You don't have to say anything. Just listen. So I've learned that. So with that there, I've applied that to many jobs that I've done in Canada. Right. As Maria as DJ On the Flow mentioned, that I've worked with the Peel Family Shelter, of helping families, and I usually say to people do not end up in the shelter because they choose to do that. Life happens. That's what we go through each and every day, life, and it happens. It's not a choice to take your family or your kids and leave your home and decide, I'm going to go and live in a shelter, right? Something have to have happened. Circumstances happen, put them there, right? But they're there to, for help, right? And you treat them with respect. Not because they're homeless. And that's what I found here, is that people being homeless, they're disrespected. They are still people. They're somebody's daughter, they're somebody's son, they're somebody's mother. So value them. Because any one of us, like I said to an executive when I went to the shelter, and she asked me, what does homelessness look like to you? And the question came out of her mouth, the answer came out of mine. No stalling in between. I said, and she kind of flipped, So I says, me. I says, the next person. I says, we are all, in those days, we were all one paycheck from being homeless. Now it's worse. It's worse now from being homeless. So, and I used to work downtown in the corporate field, the corporate world down there. I did that for 19 years. Right. So I come across the homeless on the streets in Toronto. I talk to them, and people look at me like if I was the crazy one. Why would you talk to them? But how would you know what someone is going through unless you acknowledge them or speak to them? That's all people are asking for, acknowledgement. Yeah. So I've gone through that. I've worked in the IT world as well. In those days, we used to call it computer operations. Now it's IT. So I've been there, as well. I worked as a caregiver. I volunteered in the seniors. I volunteered food banks. I did a lot of volunteering and fundraising. I fundraise like for sick kids, Princess Margaret Cancer Care, so I did a lot of volunteering as well, because, like I said, that's where I came from with my grandmother. You help. Where you see the need, you step in and help. Okay? So that's who I am.
Yeah.
Thank
and that's
you.
why we love Marilyn. And she speaks her mind too, guys, which we love about her too. She's hilarious. And we've been like Thelma and Louise, like every weekend hanging out. Like every weekend, we've been doing lots of crazy shenanigans together every Sunday, from church hopping to restaurant hopping to, I don't know, going to Grey Cup. Like we've been running the town. I will say that. And Marilyn is such a character, and she is hilarious too. But she definitely has a heart for people. And again, she was the first person to even acknowledge me walking in a place of like 8,000 people. When I was so lost at that time, she was the one person that really acknowledged me and kept trying to talk to me. And week to week to week, she would do that. And I know she's been like that with everyone that has walked in the door. So never underestimate like something small that you may feel that you do, if it's volunteering, if it's a greeter at the door, if it's parking cars, if it's saying hi to people. Like never underestimate those small things, because those mean a lot. That especially coming to a new city and not knowing anyone. And she was the first person to really show me love, and yeah, so we love her and her feistiness, and she swipes food for me too, when she can too.
And I'm the only one who doesn't get nervous with your driving.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Is her foot heavy on the pedal?
Oh my God. If you get nervous with someone driving, do not go in Flo's car. Yeah.
At me the other day. She's like, you can't even follow me. You can't even simple direction. She was.
Do not go in her car. No, but you're the one who cannot follow. I said to her, go down the street, first light, cross over, right on the corner, make a right in there. Huh? She went
First
50,
all instructions.
First
she
mistake.
went,
Too many information at the same time.
Way too many
she,
instructions.
but the
I would get
thing
lost
is,
too.
I don't even
she,
know how to get home. I don't even know how to
she
get home.
went,
I need my
she
GPS to get
went
home.
15 minutes away from where I sent her. Huh? I am
Yeah, but
sitting there waiting on her, waiting.
Sure.
this is
So
Marilyn. This is
so
Marilyn.
I called her. I said, "Where are you?" "Yeah, I'm sitting in front of the restaurant." I said, "But I am sitting in front of the restaurant." And that's been like about 15 minutes ago. It doesn't take you that long to get here. I said, "I was here in 7 minutes." "Hmm, Where did I says, "Where exactly are you?" The woman was 15 minutes away from where I sent her. Hmm?
Oh, this is Marilyn. She's like,
Couldn't follow me.
turn left, turn right.
Hmm?
And then 5 streets, you'll see a Santa Claus in front of the front lawn. And then there's a blue house. There's a
Sorry,
blue
let me
house.
tell you.
And then you'll see the old
You've
man
been
at the bus
around.
stop. Just go around the old man. And I'm like, I can't. I need a GPS to get home. I don't even know where I live, guys. I don't know how to
It's
drive
a
to get home.
Caribbean thing.
Like even Black Queen, she's a TTC driver. She literally is like, girlfriend, you cannot drive that fast on the tracks, like when it's wet out. I don't know.
Marilyn, have you ever driven with DJ Honeyflow when she's tired?
Oh, yeah.
And she starts to giggle and laugh.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
You're chatting about your
Yeah.
business
You could
now.
never imagine.
Yeah. And then you're kind of wondering, is she noticed that she's going over the yellow line and she's in the other lane? But I just sit there and look at her. I said she'll come back, because she tells me of how people panics when they're driving with her. So I go, okay, for me, been doing this for over 40 years, driving with everybody. I say, I'm fine. You go ahead. Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah, I
Thank
said,
God
just go ahead.
Thank God we're not talking about my dating life here, guys. Thank God. Thank God. I will share a funny story. I'm just going to share this quickly with Marilyn. This is how much of a character
What is
she
that?
is, you guys. So why don't you just tell that quick story with
Which one?
with the little S curl that I was like very interested in and what I did. Like we'll share that funny story because that is funny. Do you remember what you noticed when we were in a group together talking and I saw him walking towards me? But I was trying to be discreet. I didn't think anyone realized.
There was this according to me, a little gentleman. Right?
He was pretty little.
I guess yeah, that's why I says for me, he was a little gentleman because I'm not little. So I guess he caught Honeyflow's eyes, right? So we're all standing there and here he comes walking down the hall, and all of a sudden I saw her look at him and she go, "Oh, I gotta go to the washroom." And she took off to the washroom, So
I didn't want to talk to him. I got nervous. I didn't really want to talk to him.
What was that all about? I said, "You saw the guy coming." She said, "How come you noticed that? Everybody else didn't see that. Why you have to be the one noticing that I had to run off to the washroom?" Because we were all in a group chatting, right? And there he comes, and there she took off. And she says, "And you're the only one. Nobody else noticed that I did that. Why you have to pick up?" So she's always teasing me about that. You always see things when you're not supposed to.
Yeah. And she would, you guys, I guess I got nervous. I can get a little nerdy. I mean, I know I look pretty smooth, but I can get pretty nerdy sometimes. Black Queen's like, "What? Really? You're a nerd to begin with." But So I got nervous and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I mean, this guy, he had like the little S curl, like dressed
Mhm.
really nice, but he was skinny. He was like probably like 70 pounds, but like he looked like the Wayans brothers, the Wayans brother to me, Wayans brothers. So I don't know. I liked him. Right. So I got like really shy and like awkward. I was
So
like, oh
you
crap,
ran away.
he's coming towards.
She
So
ran away.
I ducked discreetly. I didn't think anyone noticed, and she noticed. And then I tried dodging him and like going to my car, and then I realized he caught me right where my car was. So Miss Marilyn over here starts driving her car like a maniac in this big mega church. She's circling her car, rolling down the
You said
windows,
church?
waving. Yeah, it was at church. She was waving. She was waving. She was waving. And she's like, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? And she kept bugging me and harassing me and like driving the car around. And all I wanted to do was just get in my car and for some reason not talk to him because I just got a little scared. I don't know why. It was weird. But anyways, that is Miss Marilyn. That is our adventures together. So that's
Yeah.
how she is. So that's why I wanted to share that. But we will go on to She's First Lady T-Rail, and I see her husband in the chat too. So I might have to bring you on for some IL-2 advice if you guys have been married for 29 years. That's amazing. So why don't you, introduce and say where you're from as well, and the passions and projects you're kind of working on too.
Well, my name is Sheila. I go by She's First Lady. The reason why is She's First Lady. My husband and I have 3 daughters. And so he said I was always his first lady. So that's how that came about. We've been married 29 years. We've been together 30 years. We have 4 children. I have a son that he has raised. 3 girls and a boy, and I have a grand sugar. Her name is Brooklyn Ann, and she'll be 6, my one and only. What I've heard so far from all of the ladies is loving and caring and serving people. And that's something I think that we all have in common. My mother had an adult foster care home where she took in schizophrenic people, mentally ill, and a lot of them, their families left them. And so my mother cared for these women just like they were a part of the family. She never cooked anything separate for us or for them. We all. And she took very good care of those women until she passed. We had the business 30 years. So loving and caring for people has always been something for me. My passion has always been my daughters. I did not finish school. Had never worked. My husband got me straight from my mom and dad. So I didn't have a work history. And we had a good life. We had a good life. I never had to worry about working. But because of not having a work history, I couldn't get a job. I was home with my children 20 years. Wife, mom, did everything. Everything, school, after school, all of that. I gave my life. I devoted my life to my children because my husband told me, he said, just stay home and take care of my babies. I did that. And when the last one got in school all day, I was like, what do I do? I didn't know anything else to do. I go and I help in the classrooms. I did all of that. And some said, live, fool. And I said, you know what? You're right. So I went back to school. I knew that when I had my first girl, that I was going to have to go back to school and make an example of a strong, educated woman. And because I did it in my 30s, I let them know it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Never too late for you to go back and do something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an inspiration that I was living this life for my girls. And that I'm a what do you call I like perfect. I like excellence. I like I don't believe in doing halfway. You know, I believe you gotta give you all. And I was always on the dean's list in college until I burnt myself out. So then I go, I can't do this no more. What can I do? And because I did not have a work history, I had to appeal to managers on applications. And I wasn't getting any bites. And I said, Lord, I said, I was really depressed. I said, Lord, I don't know. I said, I need some help. I don't know. And the Lord just told me on this one application, write down a brief synopsis what you've been through. And I did that. And that was at the Dollar Tree. And that lady called me. She said, you want to know why I picked you? She said, because your story is my story. And that lady gave me a job. I started working at the Dollar Tree. I went from the Dollar Tree to Sears to Sam's Club, but my promise was the post office. And I thank God for every experience that I have lived through, because I was able to survive USPS. Any workers out there? So to God be the glory. So many times in that 90 days, yeah, I was up in my crazy tree. I call it crazy tree because I was threatening to quit. My husband, I'm quitting. And he would just say, babe, he'd come up in the tree and get me. Come on down. I got you. And he would teach me, this is what they're doing. This is how you got to play this game. This is how you got to do this. Some days, man, because my office was 98% Caucasian. So because of where I was, they knew that I was next to come up for a route. So they wanted to get rid of me. But God said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you God set that whole thing up, oh my God, he had my back. And sometimes they would take me in the office. You couldn't say anything. And they would talk to you just like you're a child. That's humiliating. And I couldn't say a word. I'd either go to the bathroom or to my car and I would cry. And God said, okay, I got you. Get back up and go in there. And I did that. But my husband, sometimes I couldn't even get out the car. He'd come out and he'd get me. He'd meet me in the shower and he'd hold me. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this. I was assaulted on a job. I'm in an all Caucasian neighborhood. Okay. I got my uniform on. I'm delivering packages. And a white man sees me. And he banging on the door. I see him banging on the. He comes out the house with a butcher knife. What you doing here? I said, USPS, what you doing with that butcher knife? No, you're not. You get out of here. Well, I took off. I did. Yeah. Went through the whole thing, press charges, all of that. But had I not had my relationship with Christ, had I not gone through, I had anger management, all of that. I went to therapy. Had not the Lord led me and ordered my steps, I would not be who I am today and showed my girls, hey, I did it, you can do it. And when I tell you my girls, they are women, they are ladies, they work. I started them working at 15. They don't play. and they have good fiancés. And I thank God for that. So my passion has always been my girls. They have pushed me. And because I wanted to show them, hey, this is what a woman is. That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, I was going to ask, do you do a show too? Because I don't know if I've actually seen it. If you do,
My husband and I, for our anniversary, we'll do a anniversary show.
You need to start streaming yourself. You have a lot of words of wisdom to say to a lot of people. Like, I feel it. I really, really do feel it. You got to definitely start streaming a lot more, even on your own. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And would you say that is kind of character building in us, like, especially when we come from, mistreatment or like, justices, or even like jobs we hate, right? Like, at least I've learned that for myself, that I may have not wanted to be there, but looking back, it's like almost good character building within myself, even if you're unfair, even if it's unfair. But also, God has a funny way of placing you at a different table, and even your enemies sitting there, like eating at that table when you're at the head. He could literally take the last person and put them first, and
that's scripture.
where I'm like, whoa. I can't. I've heard speakers getting fired, laid off, injustices. 700 Club. I think there's a woman out here that talks about that story, and how they all wanted to fire her and get rid of her, and it was just horrible. And then all of a sudden, the CEO in Atlanta liked her so much that he brought her back, and then she was like the first one at the TV station. Lauren Lynn Thompson, it was, if you guys are familiar with her in Ontario. Her story is incredible. Getting pushed out, and then the top person from the States calling her back and saying, hey, we want you to lead everything. So now she's leading in front of all her enemies that want to push her out.
Yes,
so
yes.
Some of the things you're saying kind of makes me think of those times and moments. But would you say that sometimes it's hard going through that, but like it also helps your character in a weird way, like maybe having to forgive, or having to push forward, or having strength to do something else? I don't know. How do you feel about that? I'm curious about that.
But Honey Flo, they say, who God bless, no man curse.
No man curse.
Strength to do. You saying go into another job, another field? Is that what you're saying?
Or just basically like all the things that have happened, when you look back, what you shared, like, would you say that it also helps like your growth, like kind of character building, I guess? Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like
not with some of the bad things, you mentioned, but just sometimes we go through really horrible experiences or jobs or different things, and it, you could either be bitter or like be better at it. And it sounds like you've done a lot of great things to move forward in different jobs, right? And have a good outlook, because some of those situations you had were kind of crazy, right? They were crazy. But like
up until just 2022, I dealt with racism in my office. But I got a great union that's Black. My union president is Black, and I thank God that I work with my union, and we work together, and we're able to fix that problem.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Not only did I fix it for myself, did God, let me take that back. Not only did God fix it for me, he fixed it for every Black and brown person in my office. And I've been, I was hit in 2020 in my work vehicle. And then I was hit again in 2022, and it knocked my pelvis out of my SI joint. So I've been off for 2 years. But I'm going back. My plan is to go back this summer.
For
but
sure.
it has made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And that was one of my things when I got to the post office. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to take this much time. When I got to the post office and I saw how people were treating people that came in, because even the carriers they'll treat you nasty like a dog. And I said, God, I want to make a difference. When you ask God for something, make sure you know what you're asking for. But I thank God that he changed things, not only for myself, but for every Black and brown person that's going to come along.
Yeah. Wow. Listening to you, I really think that you're going to be that person that creates a lot of change, just from what you've gone through. I really feel like you're going to be that person that does that. I don't know. That just kind of came to me. It came to my heart. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that too. I know it resonates with a lot of people in the room as well. So we got, definitely last but not least, Black Queen for life, definitely a dear friend of mine, a sister. So why don't you share, any passions, projects, where you're from as well, what you're working on?
Woo, ladies, you guys are a lot. I love you guys. You guys are great. Black Queen from Toronto. I work for the Toronto Transit Commission, as DJ Honeyflow said earlier. I've been there around 17 years. So, Pat, you and I might have to talk. Right now, I kind of resonate with she's First Lady in terms of, for me, I love continuous learning. And a lot of it started for me because I didn't like school when I was younger. A lot of it started for me when I was much older. And I wanted to show my kids the same thing as well. So for me, it's whatever I feel like doing, whatever God placed in my heart, I jump and I'm in school. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, why did you do this? But I always go through with it. And I leave that as an example to my kids. For me, my passion is people as well. I love people. I always ask God why he gives me this heart for people, because sometimes I don't want to. Just being honest, I just want to, but I just have this heart and I can't leave it. My other passion is working out. I really love working out. And I find that as we get older, it's even more important, not only just working out, but our own health. So I've been doing a lot of studying there, how to live a longer, healthier life and just be healthy, which a lot of it, because most of us Caribbean people come from diabetic families and stuff like that. And it's a lot. And these things don't have to be that way. We can change it, but it takes a different mental state, right? Different state of mind to change and reverse some of the things that we learn and grew up in, to help us live better and longer lives. So that's where my passion lies. And I make mine very short.
Awesome. And event planning too.
Oh yes, I just started an event planning group, and this one is another great passion of mine. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. It's truly amazing. I really enjoy it. The reason why it started was because I was tired of hearing people of color talk about, oh, they don't do this or they don't do that because it's not for them, right? So I really wanted to start an event planning group that help us mesh a lot of the things that I just spoke about, including our health and wellness. Like going to a spa, it is not for other people. It is for you. It's about your well-being, about your health. It's about longevity. It's about peace, right? Happiness. So I started that. So we've been doing things like that, things that are local. And now we are in the process of doing a cruise, which is so exciting. I can't wait. But it's not exclusive to just people of Black people or anything like that. I include everyone, but I just want people, especially ladies, mothers, especially us. We need to take time to really take care of ourselves and to treat ourselves well. We deserve it. And so that's one of my passion as well.
For sure. And she doesn't have a choice, guys. I invite myself and everywhere I go with her.
She's
So
always invited.
she doesn't really have a choice. I'm like, I'm coming with you. So yeah, so it's been great. And yeah, she's definitely been on a health journey, lost weight. She's got actually Crazy Berrytown. How you doing is in here. She does a fitness show too, guys. Zumba show. Definitely a great show to check out. I would say Crazy Berrytown has the same amount of energy as Black Queen for Life and Bright Eye Sunflower. I don't know where these three get their energy, but like Bright Eye is doing handstands on the wall. She's doing the split. She's like biking. She just got a lot of energy, and I'm panting and sweating after dancing after one soca song or Zumba song. And, you know, don't get me started on the reggae or the dance hall either. But like these women, like, I don't know where they get their energy, but they are inspirations because fitness doesn't look like one thing like we see in the media, right? So that's why I've always said to Black Queen, hey, you know, we all have different body shapes and the way we look and sizes, right? That to show that, you know, every woman can be doing this. It's not just one size and one thing fits all. So that's why I think she would be excellent to push, because everyone stops and stares at her. Like, this girl is running up hills and we're all panting, you know, and she's the one like, come on, guys, let's run up the hill at 6 a.m. in the morning. That's Black Queen for Life. And I'm like, really? Can we just do this at 12 p.m.? Like, does it have to be 6 a.m. on a Saturday? Really? But yeah, so she's definitely got a lot of energy, guys. None of us can keep up with her, but we love that.
I'm curious about your Caribbean background. Which island are you connected to, Black Queen?
I'm also from Jamaica, but I am from St. Thomas. What is that, Pat? The East?
Yeah, it is the East End. Yeah.
The East. Yes.
You don't even know where you're from.
Yes.
You got to go. Brah, 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 brah. If you're Jamaican. And poor Marilyn, I thought she was Jamaican the entire time I knew her. And she would always yell at me. She's like, I don't know why you talk so much about Jamaican things, honey Flo. She's like, I'm Guyanese. I may look Jamaican, but I'm Guyanese, right?
She ever made you Guyanese pepper pot?
She made me, what is it, the noodles? What is it called again?
No, has she ever made you the Guyanese pepper pot?
No, I don't think you made me. Where's my pepper pot, Marilyn? Where's the pepper pot?
You were in Winnipeg.
Oh. Oh, man.
You were in Winterpeg at the
She
time.
has made me other dishes. You know, that's a beauty with Toronto. It's so diverse here that you're going to get, if you go out, you're going to get Caribbean, Italian, Portuguese, like you're going to get 200 nationalities together. So that's what, yeah, Clarky says Guyanese pepper pot is the best ever. Right.
It is all sorts of meat, and it's made with it's a black liquid called casrip.
Casrip.
Now, Marilyn is wondering how I know so much about that, but
yes,
my stepdad was Guyanese, so my mom learned to cook all the different Guyanese dishes. So I grew up from 7 years old knowing the Guyanese dishes and cooking them and eating them.
Ah.
Oh, I was going to ask if you were in aisle 2 with someone Guyanese, Bright Eye Sunflower. That's what I was wondering. Okay. All right.
No, my stepdad since I was 7 years old. He was originally from Guyana.
Oh, nice.
And well, my mom felt it was only fair that she learned to cook all the dishes that he loved. So we learned to cook Guyanese dishes. So I make roti and all the different things as well. And
nice.
And rice and yeah.
Awesome. Oh shoot! I think we see another guest, you guys. Dr. Dady Priest backstage. I know I'm missing a lot, but I wanted to thank you guys. Thank you so much. Wow, Alex Mejia. In the mix. I don't know if he's left already, but he's a huge humanitarian. Always does a lot of work in the Bay Area and always has a giving heart. Beats for Hope as well, doing things with the homeless and so many fundraisers. So salute to you, Alex, always being such a generous person and individual. You rock. Make sure everyone adds Alex Mejia. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs
Is he a
earlier.
streamer?
Yeah, he's a streamer. Yeah, he's definitely,
Okay.
you got to add him.
I've seen him in your stream before, but I never realized. he
Yeah,
was
you
a
got to
streamer.
add him. He does an amazing show, and he huge humanitarian, does a lot of work for fundraisers. We also have so thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Bless up to you. Also DJ Cal Money D with the subscription earlier to my show, and Fukuna, we're going to call you Fukuna today. And thank you so much for the gifted sub and supporting and being a part of the conversation. Everyone that's in the chat, sorry I can't get to all you guys today because we have a full panel and so many questions. But Dr. Dady Priest, I actually want to bring in too. She was a principal before. She's, definitely a teacher by heart, you guys. You could see that on her show. She's from Alabama. She does an amazing motivational talk show addressing issues that actually matter, which that's why I always enjoy. And I'm always giving her novels. I feel sorry for her because I give a lot of novels in her chat, talking to everyone. Her show is called Engagement Matters. So I want everyone to add Dr. Dady Priest and all the women on this panel. She's about self-care advocacy, also education and leadership. She's won the Twitch Humanitarian Award as well for, of course, on Twitch for humanitarian work that she's done. So let's bring her in. I think her and Patricia are going to get along well. When I was looking at
That's great.
all the
Good.
personalities on the panel, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're pairing us off.
Yeah,
No,
like this
I think I'm
panel,
going to get along with everybody.
yeah, like this panel, I really, really paired you guys. I was so excited for this for today. I paired you guys off well because I just feel like everyone's got a heart for people, but I feel like it's a bit different when you teach and you mentor and you allow people to just be who they are. And I really noticed that in Dr. Dady Priest. Some could be like, oh man, I'm teaching this. Why is this person going off? Right. But I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like they have that special gift. I think it's a teaching thing in them where they just allow people to be who they are. And if the conversation sways from what they plan to teach, they just allow that. And they're very patient with people like me. So I appreciate that. So that's why I think they'd really get along. Okay, so let's bring Dr. Dady Priest in. How you doing? Oh, you're on mute.
Hey, I'm doing okay. How about you?
Good. I'm glad you came, but I know you weren't feeling too well. So feel free to stay just as long as you'd like.
Yeah, these allergies. It's all good. It's all good. I'm looking kind of green.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah. It's your
Hello,
green screen.
everybody.
Your green screen. It's showing a glow around your hair, the green screen. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, feel free to share what you do online or offline as well. I know most people know you online, but for those that don't.
So I am Dady, host of Engagement Matters with Dr. Dady on Twitch. Offline, I am an educator and leadership coach. So I just bring that same energy to this platform and hope that wherever I am, you get the same person, whether it's here or off Twitch. So it is my mission to equip, empower, and engage. I spent just over 2 decades in public education. I think 22 years in K-12, and 17 of those years were in instructional leadership. So just making sure that whomever I meet, that they leave me feeling empowered. They leave me feeling as if they've been engaged, and that they know that they can just do better with whatever information that they've received. And I, in turn, like to be able to walk away from people and feel the same way.
Awesome. All right. So thanks for sharing. Yeah, I know Patricia was looking at getting into podcasting and different things. So I think you guys connecting would also be awesome too. Just in the way you guys teach and everything. So yeah, so we're going to get into some questions here a lot more, guys, in depth. The first question I had for you guys was, what have been some of the greatest inspirations throughout your life, like whether it's individuals, experiences, or values, and how have these inspirations shaped who you are today? So we'll start with Patricia.
Yeah, when I was looking at this question, I thought of the word inspiration and what that means. And I'm just thinking something that is uplifting, something that's going to change your perspective on something that's negative or something that's overbearing or just too heavy. And so, of course, being a Christian, the Bible would be the first thing that I would go to if I'm looking for inspiration. But one thing I know that I've used even before I became a Christian was music. I love music, and I love music that speaks to the heart. I love music that gets you thinking. Um, Being a girl from the reggae land, of course, Bob Marley, he would always have some songs that he would throw out there that were just inspirational. I have my Dennis Brown that I like, but then not only just reggae music. I also like soul music. I like music that gets you into that place, especially when you're down in a funk. Something that can lift you up, something that is so inspirational that it gets you humming on a very bad day. It gets you sharing with somebody that might be in a worse situation than you are, because you just heard a song that inspired you and want to transform the way you think and shape your day. We talk about taking command of your day, and if you get a really good song that opens up your thoughts and gets you to breathe just in a peaceful way. I wrote down the word peaceable, peaceful, something that will bring on peace. And I think music is one thing that can transform you. Now, of course, there are horrible music out there, and I mean, the beat alone will get you going. Not to say that calypso music is bad in any way, but Honey Flow referred to that, and so you could hear a really nice calypso beat and just start dancing and just dancing your troubles away, just dancing all the foolishness that's happening around you. She's first lady. You talk about what you went through at work. I could share many, many stories. I do have a gag order that I can't talk about a lot of stuff, but just that through in my time when I was going through my challenges at work, one of the things that I had on my radio that they hated was music. Was always playing, because no matter how bad things were, I could get me a good music. Even Taylor Swift, even the Taylor Swift music could get me. I remember when what's her, I can't remember her name now, the lady from down the country lady, young girl, and she was I can buy myself flowers.
Oh,
You guys
Miley
all know that?
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. And that would get me there. And of course, my Christian songs, anytime and every time, day or night, when I'm down, or even in a good mood or a bad mood, music. So that's my inspiration, music.
All right,
It's the
awesome.
word of God. Yeah. Mhm.
Have you guys seen the Bob? Have you seen the Bob Marley movie? It was amazing.
Yeah.
No, I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
if
yet.
you
No, I
guys
haven't
haven't
seen it
seen
yet.
it, you have to see it. Like, it definitely takes you to Jamaica. You're gonna want to take a trip, and I don't know. It was inspiring too. It was actually, you could always learn lessons through different people as well, right? And the biggest lesson I learned, I think, watching it was forgiveness, like from him.
Mhm.
I won't give away the movie, but a lot of things happened to him and his family and people around him. And I'm just like, wow, like, I don't know if I'd be able to forgive that if something like that happened, but he forgave. So you gotta watch the movie. It was really good. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I don't know if Miley Cyrus does that to me, but I'm glad it does that for you.
It's the
Especially Taylor
word
Swift.
and the mute, the dancing and the music on the word. It gets you out there.
Not too much.
The
Yeah,
beat.
yeah. Everyone's definitely into different things. But thanks for sharing and singing too. You got such an angelic voice. We got Bright Eye Sunflower as well.
My inspiration started at a very young age, and it came from my grandparents. My grandmother was a seamstress, and she used to sit long hours at the sewing machine, and I would have to massage her feet. And she used to say, "You have healing hands, you know." And then my grandfather would say to us, me and my sister, we all have gifts, and it's for us to look inside of ourselves and see what our gifts are.
Mhm.
So from a very early age, I had good people behind me inspiring me. And then when I was in first form, when I started high school, my principal was my greatest fan. She motivated me, she inspired me, she found all my talents inside of me. And she saw that I could write poetry. She entered me into poetry competition. Christmas, she would make me sing solo, where my mother would say, I can't ton tune, can't sing. She found that I had this really great voice, that I did solos. And she entered me into a pageant called Teenage Pageant. And this woman just pushed me forward. So a lot of my inspiration came from people that was directly involved in my life. I love music. Music is my passion. And one of my most favorite song that I sing constantly is "Great is Thy Faithfulness." It lifts me up when I'm down. You know, morning by morning, new mercies I see. And every day we get up and open our eyes, we should be thankful for all that we have. You may not have material things, but you have things that are invaluable in life that money cannot replace. And another song was my grandfather's favorite song. And, you know, music and dancing. I learned my first time on stage dancing was I was 7 years old. So my background is diverse, in depth, spiritually inclined, connected, and that's just me. That's my passion. That's who I am. And I live to inspire people. And if I can make a difference in someone's life or show someone positivity, that no matter how many times you may fall, it's not how you fall, it is how you get up and keep fighting and keep moving forward. So that's just me.
So true. I love that. I love that. And you guys, she's a great dancer. I'm like, whew, Honey Flo needs some of her dance moves. Now, I don't know if you'd like to demonstrate maybe a dance move for us. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can do that later on. Yes, no
Oh,
problem.
later on. Okay, we're gonna warm her up. We're gonna warm her up, guys. But this woman here in her 60s, so there's no excuse for anyone, including myself, for the energy. She does handstands on the wall. She does the splits. She's a very good soca dancer. I'm like, she's gonna get me married very quickly, learning her moves. I'm trying to practice her moves so it works for me.
I
But
dance everything, everything.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. No, I love it. I love it. And it's different because no one else is really doing that on Twitch where they dance and then they do like a motivational show. So I think that's really cool how you combine. You can tell that you're just free for who you are. And I love that because when you're free, you also give others the courage to feel like themselves, including myself, and like watching you to be free as well, right? And not care so much. And that's something that I learned from you, actually. I don't know if you knew that, but
No,
something
I
just
didn't.
watching your show. Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. So we got Marilyn up next too. Was there any inspirations that you had too?
Oh, well, all my inspirations came from my grandmother of watching her, and she was, into music as well. And whatever, whenever something is bothering her, I always used to know when something is bothering her, right? Because she would start to sing, I come to the garden alone, where the dew are fresh on the roses. And that was one of her favorite hymns, right? So with that there, I know something was wrong, with her. And I went along with that, of, the positivity that she had in her life, because she's went through a lot, right? And she raised my brothers and sisters and myself. They were 6 kids, but she always had room for somebody else. She's never cooked a pot, just for us. Everybody could stop by, even if she have to cut her meal in half to feed that person, to give that person something to eat. That was who she is. And that's what I take away from her. That's how she inspired me to be the kind of person I am today, to help people, to look up to people, to look out for people. And so another thing to another person who had inspired me was I had a cousin. She was a baker. She loved to bake, right? So she used to make all the um, wedding cakes and Christmas cakes, and she was right across the street from my grandmother. So I would always be there, right? So I picked up that whenever something was bothering me, I would either go over there, where she's baking, or you would see me walking down the dam with my fishing line. I'm going fishing, right? And that's how she will know that something is bothering me, something is wrong, because she'll see me leave to go fishing, right? And humming her song, I come to the garden alone, or whatever other hymns, I would remember. Yeah, and that's where she will find me. So I would see, like, maybe an hour or two later, I would see her coming to find me, because, she knows something was wrong. Right? So my greatest inspiration, were those two ladies and what they've taught me in life, of how to be and get along with people.
Yeah,
Yep.
amazing. And I'm noticing a common pattern listening to all you guys, how you're talking about like your grandmothers or your moms or people that influenced you, right? And it just goes to show that like, generations are important, right? Like even as women, it's like we're also supposed to reach. Now I'm at the age where I can't just always look up or to older people. I have to be that inspiration, or I have to now lift maybe a younger woman, especially in this industry or in a male dominated industry, like lift them up as well. And it's interesting to hear all you guys talking about like family or the people that have touched you. It's really that like we need all generations, especially women, and we need to support each other like more too and uplift even the younger people and be that example, right? So it's interesting how you talked about your grandmother, like how she was such an example for in your life, Marilyn. And I see that so much in you. Like I see how you are with people and how you have such a servant heart, like a silent leader where no one really needs to see, but you're doing it, and that's something I've always respected in you and loved about you, that you would do that for people. So and I learned from you. I learned from all of you actually. So yeah, so thank you for that. She's First Lady T-Rail. Who are your inspirations as well?
My mother, my grandmother, my aunt. One of the main ones is my pastor. I have a female pastor, and just being in her ministry, um, uh, I don't think I'd even be sane if I wasn't there. She's a big believer in mental health. You know, some pastors, they're like, you don't need this, you don't need that. All you need to do is pray. That's not true. God gave everybody gifts and talents. He put these people here for a reason. He did medicine for a reason. It's not just to sit at and look at. You know, she pushed me, you know, when I was back at school. You could do it, baby. You could do it. You know, even with marriage, you know, I've had to get marriage counseling. You know, she's right there, and she's always encouraging, because she went through a lot of things too. She went through panic attacks, different things like that. And she's very down to earth. And at the same time, she gives us the word of God. So I have drawn a lot from her. Mental health for women is so important, because you can lose yourself and you start coming down on yourself, and you know, you go into a depression, and you know, it's important. Sometimes we need counseling and medication. And I don't have a problem saying that, because I've been there. And I even had to go and get help for road rage. So everything that I've done, all of those different things that I've done and had to go through, prepared me for where I am. And I don't have a problem telling anybody, baby, you need to get some help. Listen, I did this, I've been through this, and I've been through that. You know, I take all of those lessons that I've learned from therapy, and I still apply them today. Because you're never too old. You don't know everything. You have to keep your mind open. If you close your mind, you can't be fed anything. So I always keep an open mind. I keep an open heart. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to work with somebody, cooperate. I think that's the reason why too, my husband and I work so well together, because we have consideration on top of love. There's just consider my thoughts. Consider what I'm feeling. I love that man. But anyway, just those things, you have to work. You got to have a system. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a system. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. And one of our things was that we will never give up working on our marriage. Never give up working on ourselves. You got to realize you're going to always change. People change through different ages, different decades, or whatever. You change. You're never the same. And with women, that comes with menopause. It changes. It changes you. You ain't no sex bunny like doing it like he was. But that's okay.
Gosh, shoot, you're not? What the heck? I gotta check I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You know, it made me laugh. It made me laugh when you said I shouldn't be smiling when you said the road rage thing, because what came to mind was my friends are like, thank God you guys aren't on the same highway with Honey Flow, because you would have road rage on me. I'm a horrible driver. But anyways, yeah. But how do you, okay, I know we're kind of swaying a little bit, but I will ask you, because 29 years is a pretty big accomplishment. And there's so many people getting divorced right now. I think I had like 4 or 5 people in my chat saying they ended their 20-year relationship. And my heart, honestly, like my heart like sank for them, you know? And like, what could you say to people to keep keep that, because I don't know, you have that wisdom there, 29 years. What could you say that are the key ingredients to when you want to give up to keep that marriage or keep that going?
Well, like I said, one of them was marriage counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you have to realize is we can't read each other's mind. And sometimes you're looking for him to say what you're thinking instead of you just telling him.
Yes.
And you got a lot of people watch other people's relationships. I want him to treat me like that. You don't know what's going on in other people's relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You need to focus on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, that you see is gold is not really gold, because people put on airs. But you have to keep your eyes off other people, put your eyes on each other, and put your eyes on God. I never wanted to duplicate anybody else's relationship, never.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you learn. He can't read my mind, I can't read his mind. I had my issues with money. He's never been that way. But,
Yeah.
God had to straighten me out about that.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say is, because I have that relationship with God, he'll get me in a minute. In a minute. And I say, yes, Lord, I'm sorry. And I go to my husband, I'm so sorry. Because it's not times it was me. It was me, and I don't have a problem saying it.
Yeah.
But our respect and our love for each other has grown even more because of that. Just like I said, consider, how many men don't consider their wives' feelings, their women's feelings. Let's move from wives. Don't respect or think about their feelings, or what, you just make a move and you haven't thought about that person. That's important. You don't even consider me. You didn't consider how I would feel. You didn't consider what I would think. Nothing. When all you have to do is just go and talk to the person. You got to keep that open line of communication. You got to talk. Sitting there looking at each other saying, well, you ought to know that.
Women are guilty of doing that, I think. A lot of women. We expect, like, they should just know this is common sense, So, yeah, but you said communication.
And hey, I still do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is perfect. But then we talk to each other, and sometimes we it wasn't even what we thought. You know what I'm saying? The enemy can blow small things up. It's the small things that the devil will get a hold to. And the next thing you know, y'all at each other neck. Because you, in your own mind, and you thinking, and he's thinking one thing, and the enemy just keep on feeding you stuff. Look at what he did. Look at you. Shut up.
Yeah. I feel like that could happen online too, not just in relationships. Let's face it. It could happen on Twitch. It could happen online. It could happen when you're meeting hundreds of people, right? People form assumptions. You may say something stupid or vice versa, because we're all human, right? We're not perfect. So I hear what you're saying. That's so true.
It happens in marriages. That's the reason why they don't last.
Interesting.
When all you got to do is open up your mouth and talk.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming to you. When I meet someone, I'm going to be knocking at your door in Detroit. I'm coming to you too.
I don't live in Detroit.
Oh, I thought it was Detroit. Was it Detroit?
I was born and
Michigan?
raised in Detroit. I live in Northville. I'm about an hour away. 45 minutes.
Oh, at Northville. Okay.
So come to
all right.
Northville.
Nice.
Don't go to Detroit. You ain't gonna find
I'll come to Northville. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So we got Black Queen for Life too. Who were and thank you for sharing. I appreciate that too. I know it will help people that are listening, that are going through it right now. Black Queen for Life, who were your inspirations as well?
Me, I'm gonna go back to my family. I come from a family with a lot of ladies, and they are the one who taught me to be independent, to be to motivate me, to inspire me, and allow me to do and grow and be the person that I am today. My mom, my aunt, people like my grandmother who raised me in Jamaica till I was a certain age. These were all very, very strong ladies and loving and kind. So I don't necessarily look to stars or whoever, but my family has been the number one. The ladies in my family, I have guys too, and they're good, but my ladies have been the one to really help me to become the woman that I am. And then when I started going to church in my later years, I think after I had my first child, they had this ministry where I was the young new converts would be paired with like the seniors, and it was beautiful because those seniors can tell you some things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you come into the church, and I think someone said it earlier, you think it's all roses or whatever, but they can tell you, and they're so honest and open with you. They help me to grow as well in my Christian walk in a real way, not a pretentious way, but a real walk with Christ where I'm not fooled by, the little crazy stuff that may happen in church, as we know, or be unwise about the way the walk is going to be. They really inspired me and showed me how to really maneuver myself around my Christian walk. So it's been mostly ladies. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and her families is true characters, guys. Like I love them as well. They're true characters. I think her auntie came up to me when I was DJing backyard barbecue for them for her birthday, and she looks at me and gives me a stern look, and she's like, "You better know something about Barris Hammond or about Lovers Rock," And I'm like,
That's right.
excuse me, like I was like, oh man. She's like, yeah. What do you know? What do you know about reggae? Let's see what you got. And then later on, she started laughing and dancing. She's like, okay, you're good, you're good. So then I was finally part of the club, I think, over there.
Yeah,
But
we're a feisty bunch. We're very opinionated. Yeah, but loving at the same time.
yes, yes,
Loving at the
no,
same
very
time.
loving,
We're very
very loving.
opinionated, and we're not
Yeah,
afraid to talk, and we're not afraid to go and do things and just be out there. So I
exactly,
love
and
like
very
Pat.
vibrant.
I'm with you, Pat. I love my music. I love my Miley Cyrus. I actually fell in love when she was on the award show the other day. I love her character. I love the way she, she speaks, and she's so out there. I love that about her, and I love that song too. But I don't want to buy my own flowers. I want.
Hey, but you sing. Black Queen sings though. Black Queen sings too. She's got a very great voice. So yeah, and she's the type of friend that will tell you straight up, like a few times with me, a few funny situations.
She doesn't like it when I tell her things. So I don't even know why
No, I
she's
don't.
playing. She doesn't like it when I tell her things. She gets upset and she's like, ah. And then I have to wait for her to calm down to talk to her again. It's like she doesn't like it. She's like, why do you have to tell me? You could say it nicer than that.
I'm like, it's a delivery. It's a delivery. Yeah, that's true.
It's the delivery.
Like I will tell you guys a quick funny story. I don't even know why I'm putting my own self on blast. I don't even know if I should say it. Whatever. I don't even drive my car. Okay. Like, this is the type of friend that will nitpick things that I don't even see. So basically, my car has been under a tree for the longest time, especially during the pandemic. I didn't go back to my corporate job. I wasn't, there every day driving. And she's like, girlfriend, you have cobwebs like under your mirror on your car. I'm like, what is up with that? Why don't you wash your car? I'm like, why am I going to spend $20, $30 out here to wash a car? I'm under a tree. You know what? I wash it. There's going to be another cobweb under it. So, anyways,
No. Okay.
She's that type of friend that will say that.
Backdrop to the story, okay? We got invited to the 15th birthday party. It was an all-white affair. So, you're going out, you're looking nice, you're looking cute, right? DJ Honeyflow offered to pick me up, and I thought, yay, great, I'm a driver, I don't want to drive, right? She's picking me up, wonderful. I'm looking all cute, she's looking all cute. I step outside, and this car in summertime, so the sun is up longer, okay? So this car has all these cobwebs all over it.
It's not all these cobwebs.
Pulling up
It's
and
not like a
keeping
car's
house
wrapped in
with on the
cobwebs.
car. So, friend, would you guys not have told her?
It was a
Oh,
little,
so-
listen,
Uh-huh.
it was a little cobwebs under the mirror. Who cares? Who
That's not a
cares?
cobweb. That's a spider web.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. But you know what? I'll wash it and then it's gonna listen, for the most part, guys, my car was clean. It was clean. It wasn't just make it
Inside,
seem like
inside is
I
clean.
went through like a field, like I was like a construction worker, back there with all the dust everywhere. And the Skrillex says my car is dusty right now too because I work from home. Thank you. Thank you, the Skrillex. I appreciate you. Maybe if I found a handy person around here, maybe he could help me wash my car. Anyways, let's go on to Dr. Dady Priest as well. But thanks for sharing that. We have a lot of fun together. I do appreciate her honesty. It just takes me a little while to take it in. That's all. I just need a minute. But we're going to go to Dr. Dady Priest. Who are your inspirations as well?
Very much the same as the other women. My mother, first and foremost, and the women in my family. And so I am a girl of the South, born and raised in Huntsville, Alabama is where I am. So I've chosen to remain here to be close to my mom because she's older, had me when she was older. My mom will be 96 this summer and I will be 54.
That's a blessing.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's a
Wow.
blessing.
I point that out to say that different dispositions can be off-putting to some people. However, I learned to walk and carry myself with a certain sense of pride. And we talk about making sure that we can, pass lessons on to younger women. I like listening to she's First Lady T-Rail about her daughters. And we do those things until someone makes a comment about it. Then we want to temper their behavior. Well, either we're going to teach people to be confident or we're not. Either we're going to walk forward in employment of purpose or we're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I learned from my mom and her sisters, they all had varying degrees of, different personalities, but just taking lessons from each of them. From my mother, I certainly learned how to be kind to other people, to treat people the way I want to be treated, to stand up for myself, from my aunts, just same lessons. And then there were, women in the neighborhood. And so I'll tell people all the time, you all know Dr. Dady, you don't know Hood Dady.
Right.
I think I've seen it a little bit come out. I've seen a little
So,
tiny.
they are very much one and the same. One cannot exist without the other. And so having that particular background, people don't understand that it is my job, it is my mission to make sure that I pour into other young ladies, that they know that they have a voice, that they know how to use their agency, that they know that they have a purpose, that they know and understand that they are not to back down when people come against them, because it is not them that people are coming against. It is the purpose of their life that people come against. So that would be my inspiration and my purpose in life, coming from my family.
Yeah, for sure. I thank you for sharing. I love that answer. Do you feel like that's more relatable too, in saying like who you are, or like, and just keeping it 100 like with people? Do you feel like it's relatable like a lot more to people as well?
Do I feel what's more relatable?
Like you said, also like your personality, right? You said how you kind of are.
It just depends. And so I'll give you an example. I shared this yesterday while we were streaming. I was in Destin, Florida at a wedding last week, and we were on Miramar Beach, which is kind of a little private community. The girl who got married, that's where she chose to be. And so she got married at sea. And so we were walking back, waiting for the shuttle to go to the hotel. And this man drove up. And so my friend and I talked later, and I said, girl, you know, everybody in this community knew all these Black people were here. They've been talking about it the whole weekend because it's a private white community. And so this man drove up and he was like, hey, y'all waiting on your shuttle? You know, I just bought this golf cart. I'll give you a ride back. As it turns out, he's one of the franchise owners of the Donut Hole, popular franchise here. And so by the time we made it back, my friend was like, girl, you just were talking to that man and finding out everything. And so being relatable. And so there were lessons we were passing to each other. He was sharing with me his hardships, entrepreneurship, and also letting me know that just because I may see privilege and he may have it to some degree, that he didn't have it as easy as people thinks he does. And so we were just, you know, talking about different things. So in terms of being relatable, I think it depends on the person, the day. My mission is to foster resilience through purposeful engagement. I want to make sure that women, not only women, but in particular, Gen X women, Black women, because we were taught to operate a certain way. We were taught to be quiet. We were taught to go along, to get along. And somewhere along the way, we lost our voice. And there's no point of talking about the self-care, because, you know, I am an advocate for self-care and wellness. So I certainly enjoy listening to the ladies talk about different things. But we have to make it a point to model for the young ladies coming behind us what living life looks like and pivoting in real time. Because we likely have been on certain pathways to this point, and we have heart's desires to do other things in life. So why can't we explore them? Why can't we go forth? Why can't we model for the young people and give them life lessons that they can pass on to their children?
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Dr. Dady, did you get the donuts?
No, I didn't. No. I wasn't that kind of a ride.
That's really cool. That's really neat. I think it takes a different skill set or level to be able to
not
talk.
Everybody likes me now. Now I
and you know what? Can I just say this? The mere fact that you said that we have to make sure that we have people understand that we didn't get to where we're getting to just by, you know, being this whatever person. There is a process. And so the younger people ahead of us can't just look at us, the older one, and say, hey, Shiada, I want to be like that lady. But there's a process. There's a place that I came from that was either dark or bright to the place that I am today. And I want you to know that, so that when you get here or as you go on the journey, this is what. So I like that. I like the way you're saying it. Thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
And it's good to be honest too, where we came from, right? Because you may see a different picture of an older person and think, oh man, like they're kind of perfect, or they didn't really go through anything. Like you don't hear their full story or their full thing, right? Like
I have been blackballed, professionally speaking. And I can say that publicly now. And like Pat, I have a gag order on a lot of things, but I have been if you Google me, you will believe, if you don't know me, you will believe 100% of everything that's out there. And the reality is that journey was as necessary for me to stand firm and push back and say, I don't care what you do. This is not right. If I have to be the sacrificial lamb, then so be it. Let me tell you, the same thing that was done to me, that individual just did the same thing to somebody else 2 years later, tried the exact same thing.
Wow.
Same MO, same everything. The only difference is I push back. And so I'm saying all that to say you have to have an awareness of who you are and how you fit into different situations. So I'm aware that with certain white males, we just don't mix. And being in the South, you already know how that's gonna go, or maybe you
Yeah.
don't. Let me tell you. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where I watched the Shirley Chisholm story this morning, how when she first got to Congress, this man would walk up to her and say, "Oh, how does it feel to make 42.5?" And she's like, "I'm doing this so the young ladies behind me, the young ladies in my life will know what it feels like to make 42.5." And so I say all that to say my journey is as necessary so other women know they deserve a seat at the table. And if they don't get a seat at the table, they have enough wherewithal to build their own.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. So true. Does anyone else have any thoughts, after what Dr. Dady Pre said? Anything that comes to mind?
I raised my girls with a purpose on purpose. Everything that I went through, I made sure that they were not going to go through. I have ADHD and I'm dyslexic. So I didn't find that out until I was grown. But with my children, my son, he has ADHD. So I was able to see that pattern in me. And I don't blame my parents or anything because they're from the South and they didn't know. Right. But with my children, I made sure, hey, we getting an IEP. You need some medication. You need some counseling. I made sure that my children were always ahead. You know what I'm saying? I stayed on top of those things so that they could get the best education that they could. I made sure of that. Never missed the IEP. None of that. And I knew that that was going to help my girls to, you ain't got to be embarrassed. You don't have to be ashamed. This happens. But just know you can overcome that adversity. My girls are the most well-rounded women you will ever meet. And I knew that I had to do that because it was going to build them. It was going to build them. And my granddaughter, we see some ADHD in her. Now, my daughter told her teacher, the grandbaby's teacher, my mother, we have this, I have this. My mother always made sure this. And so she was able to go and tell the teacher the different things. And she said, oh, wow, your mother. That was, I gave her a hand up.
You know what, though? Can I say this? And Pat, as an educator, I think you would agree. Black girls get a bad rap when it comes to being articulate, when it comes to being expressive, when it comes to being themselves. And a lot of that is not to say that you don't have that, because I personally say I have ADD. It may be hard for you to keep my attention. However, I understand what you're saying, but little Black girls get such a bad rap when it comes to school, and most of it goes back to white women. Because they cannot put them in a box. Think about the little girls that we build up, that we tell they're smart, that they are smart, they're kind, they're important, they're all those things. And they go to school and they expect to be treated that way. But yet they encounter someone whose countenance isn't used to this. It's like, wait a minute, this confident energy is coming towards me. So what do I do with this? So they start the browbeating, start so-and-so. She's disrespectful. She talks too much. She's this, she's that, and don't necessarily know, or maybe they may not have the proper strategies in their own tool chest to build the relationships necessary to deal with the learning styles that are on the table in front of them.
Well said again. I mean, I love to tell this story, and at the same time, I think it kind of comes across as just being condescending to some people, in that when I left Jamaica, our motto down there is out of many one people. So we have Black Jamaicans, white Jamaicans, Chinese Jamaican. I personally, growing up in Jamaica, never knew there was a problem with me. I didn't know. I didn't know I had an accent. I didn't know there was a problem with being Black. I didn't know that speaking up as a woman was wrong. I didn't know sharing my faith or just talking about what I feel about a situation and being so expressive was disrespectful. I didn't know that. So I came to Canada now with my big bright self, and I'm exhibiting these behaviors that cost me a whole lot of problem. I mean, like, what is the thing about not being a Black woman and not having a voice? I don't understand that. Black was not and I will have a voice and I'm going to speak, and so I spent a lot of the first 10 years of being here apologizing every time I was called at my bad behavior. And then I realized, no, this is who I am. This is who God created me to be, and He loves me just the way I am. So guess what? Get over yourself. And like you said, you go through missing out on things. You go through being put in that back part there. She has an accent. So because she has an accent, she can't be intelligent. Oh, wow. She can't articulate herself well because she said D instead of they. So that means she don't understand what she's saying. Or she don't have and then the young girls, as you said so rightly, doctor, they come up hearing that same kind of thing, whether they're from down south in America or even here in Canada or from the Caribbean. The mere fact that they are Black with something that is not straight as being described, then they're not intelligent. And anything they get it because we're trying to help out the Black race. We're trying to do the right thing. We're going to get them across. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting discussion because for all the people that have just come in, I just want to mention where everyone is from because I was most curious country to country, right? And of course, being Black women, country to country, what kind of your experiences have been. I've heard a little bit from Dr. Dady Priest, being from Alabama. I can't even imagine some of the stories she's mentioned to me. Even in our interview a while ago, I was like, wow, blown away. But Canada is definitely different. I would say it's probably more hidden racism for sure. Here in the States, it's probably more out there. I don't know how it is in the Netherlands, and that's why I wanted to ask you guys. So for everyone just coming through to the show, Pat and Black Queen for life, they're Jamaican, Canadian, or moved to Canada. Maryland's Guyanese, Dr. Dady, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Dady Priest and First Lady T-Rail. They're from the States, African American, and Bright Eye Sunflower is Antiguan. So I was very curious, and maybe you guys could, now that we're actually talking about it, I could jump to this question, considering the challenges and obstacles you've encountered too, like with discrimination. Like, how was it, growing up with your background? I wanted to jump to Bright Eye Sunflower, like your experience in the Netherlands as well. Oh, I think you're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Growing up on an island, I never experienced racism because we're all color, creed, race, whatever. We drink from the same cup, sleep in the same bed. We just intermingle. We don't see color. And then you travel out. And I remember my actual first racist experience was in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were in the shopping mall, my mom, my 2 children, and myself. And a truck pulled into the parking lot, and there was some white guys. And one of the guys shouted, "Nigger, go home." you know, and that was my very first experience of racism in Atlanta, Georgia, in the States, and that was in 2002, 2003. And you know, I lived 8 years in London, in England, and the Irish people are treated just as the Black people, because back in the 60s, Irish people were considered indentured servants. And back in the 60s, 70s, coming up during that period, in the windows in England, if you're looking for a room, you will see no Black, no dogs, no Irish. It was typical in windows that Irish. So you find that a lot of Irish people, men and women, ended up with Black Caribbean men and women, and they have interracial children. And then you come to the Netherlands, and the first thing they ask you, they don't ask you if you're Dutch. They don't ask you where you come from. They ask you, why did you come here?
Oh, wow.
And I worked with this lady, and when I told her all the things I've done in my lifetime, the different jobs, my studies, my diploma, my degree, my this, my that, she always brings it up. I can't believe you've done so many different things. Some people stay in one job their entire life. Maybe it's fear of trying new things. But I was never fearful. I was adventurous. I wasn't afraid to step out on faith. And quite recently, last week, I had to deal with a co-worker. And I went to the supervisor and she said, why didn't you? I said, you know what? If I had opened my mouth and spoke to her the way I was feeling, first thing they tend to do, they look at you because you're Black, and the first thing they're going to say, you are aggressive. You was aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, before I say something, because my facial expression doesn't lie. It shows what I'm feeling. And we speak with our hands, and they don't understand that. So they think you are super aggressive. And I said, if I had opened my mouth and told her exactly what I was feeling at that time, she would have reported me for being aggressive. I said, instead, I walked away and I chose my battle. I'm going to get her. No matter how long it takes, I'm going to get her. But when I do get her, I'm going to be so diplomatic, she's not going to even know what hit her. Because you can't catch flies with vinegar. I'm going to pour them on. So everywhere you go around the world, there's racism. But I think it comes from fear of the unknown, threatened by how a Black person can be so educated, how a Black person can be confident. And I had this in England. A coworker said to me, oh, I thought you were perfect. We were closing off and the cash wasn't balancing. And yeah. And she said, I thought you was perfect. I said, no, don't mistake my confidence for perfection. I'm not perfect. I'm very imperfect. But what I am confident. And anything I want to do in life, I'm going to achieve it because I achieve it with positivity. I go, and I think that is the whole thing they don't understand about us, our confidence. How can we be so positive after we've gone through so much in life? And this is why we have to keep pouring into our children, male and female, your intelligence. You can apply yourself and achieve anything you want to achieve. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
So true.
Racism, it is more subtle than what it used to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, everything evolves, and there's different type of racism. It is not so blatant by some people, but you have to be diplomatic and know how to deal with it.
For sure.
Bright
Yeah.
Eyes, you're the best. You are the best, Bright
Yeah.
Eyes. I love that. Completely love it. Because I also walk with that same philosophy. I don't believe that I have to fear anyone. And from I walked into this country or was dropped by the airplane, whatever you want to call it, I have never feared anyone. And one of the things that the only person that I fear in this world is God himself, period.
Mhm.
So what I don't think there's anyone over the age of 20 or even less who have not experienced racism all over this world. I've experienced it. We all on this panel have experiences. But I agree with you. It is how you deal with it and how you react to it. A lot of times it is a fear because there's a superiority complex among some people, right? And they think that you are beneath them. But the confidence that we have from the people who have raised us or that we've been around, that confidence rise up in us. And to be honest, and I know this might be a little bit controversial, but they have a right to be afraid. We are strong. We are powerful. We are knowledgeable. We are educated. So they have to be afraid. You know, I'm speaking the truth because if you look at our lineage, from back in Africa, we were kings and queens, and even to this day, educated, powerful people. And so anyone who's threatened by that is going to be afraid, right? So they try to make us afraid, but I am never afraid. Period.
Black Queen, earlier you made a statement about diet and diabetes in the
Yes.
Black people, but that goes right back to slavery because when we were fed in slavery were the scraps, the leftovers, and that is where our dietary plan came from. So if we could break that cycle completely, we got it covered.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah, so true. Thank you guys for sharing that. I'm reading some of the comments as I'm listening to you guys. All amazing comments right here. I was just most curious because we have like a rich panel of women here today from so many different countries and so many different experiences, but kind of a same common experience, which I find interesting, like country to country, even nationality, right? Like even though we're different nationalities, people perceive you how they want to perceive you and do things. But it is interesting to learn from the States to the Netherlands to Canada, some of your experiences. And, you know, if there's anyone else that wants to jump in with that as well. And, you know, what are some things like how you navigate through that? Because it's hard enough doing a job or hard enough to live life and pay bills and do all that. But to get that added layer of how people perceive you or racism or different things, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep pushing. So what helps you guys? Like, how have you navigated, I guess, through those experiences? Maybe it would help, you know, some people in the chat that are going through it too.
May I echo what Black Queen said? Kudos to you. People should take note of who we are. And I can remember you're talking about Honeyflow being in a situation where racism is prevalent. And so I can remember the last two supervisors I had, we went through the same doctoral program. One of them allegedly made some inappropriate comments about Hispanic children. Both of them were just kind of pushed along, but long story short, they would say stuff like, oh yeah, Dr. Free, she's good with this and she's good with that, but I don't know about this. And it's like, get somewhere and sit down. Like, you should be on pause, on alert when I come to the table. You should know that when I come to the party, the room is going to shift. You should know that when I show up, you're going to have to work. The people who are coming to you complaining, they should know that when they're under my leadership, we will do our very best.
Yeah.
That's what you should know, not this nonsense that really is indicative of ignorance and insecurities. And so what I would say is continue to be who you are. And let me tell you, I understand that my pathway and my suggestions may not work for everyone.
Right.
I get that. But the reality is some people are not going to like you anyway. And when, you know, I can only speak for here because I've not lived in another country, but I will say, and we know this, that during the time the Obamas were in the White House, that was the time when white males really felt like they had been stripped of their natural birthright, because a lot of them were middle-class entrepreneurs. And here you have all these educated people around the world just being highlighted. Not to say that everyone has to go get a formal education, because they don't. However, that is the chosen pathway. And Black women are the single most educated group among anyone. We have to work twice as hard, go to the table, really do a lot of the propping up of the people who are in prime positions, yet we don't get credit for it. And then I think it was Bright Eyed Sunflower who mentioned how we are perceived to be aggressive, how we are perceived to be all these different things, when it has nothing to do with anything except our energy has put them on alert. That is the bottom line. So I say continue to be who you are. I can remember several years ago, I went to a leadership something. I was at Harvard for a leadership institute. And this man gave me some wise advice, because I had been, at that time, I was really interested in getting out of the principalship, and I was starting to be passed over for things. And I was just like, wait a minute, what? And he said, look, you get to know what's inside you can get to know what's inside the box without getting inside the box. Because I was all about this, I don't want anybody to put me in a box kind of thing. He was like, get to know what's inside the box. So that's what I would say. Get to know those who labor among you. Because people, the same way people know you, you need to know people. They know
That's
your
right.
ins and outs. You learn their ins and outs, and you operate accordingly.
That's some definitely
Can I
solid
just
That
say
is so
advice.
true.
Yeah, jump in for sure.
I remember when I first started working in healthcare, I helped a coworker bring a patient to bed. And while we were undressing her, she said, "Don't touch me. I don't like Black people." So I said, fair enough. I backed off. I started laughing and I walked out the room. I came back in the room later and my coworker said to me, "Don't take it personally. She had a stroke." I said, no. That has absolutely nothing to do with a stroke. And I said, let me tell you this. I have more respect for her than I would have for a co-worker who is a backstabber. At least I know where I stand with her. I know she doesn't like Black people. And if I go to help her, the first thing I ask, is it okay to help you? And if she says yes, I go ahead with the service. If she says no, I leave it for someone else to do. But don't tell me no bullshit about, oh, she had a stroke and that's why she's saying that. And she's from the older generation that came from slavery. So she knew exactly what she was talking about.
They're just at the age where they say whatever, and I can't wait to get to that age because I'm embarking upon that now. So I'm just gonna say whatever. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. Anyone else want to jump in? Marilyn, do you have anything?
Yeah. No, my experience with racism when I came to Canada, because we don't have that like in Guyana. We all deal, Indians, Portuguese, Douglas, Chinese, Africans. So we all get along. So when I came to Canada, I think for the first couple of months, was wintertime. And I took my sister, like to the daycare, and it was bright. You know, when you have a fresh falling snow and then the sun came out, beautiful. So my first experience, and I came bouncing into the elevator where we live, and there was a white lady in there. And I go, "Oh, good morning. What a beautiful day it is." And I see she squunched herself up in the corner. And I says, "Are you okay? Is something?" She said, "Why are you talking to me?" I says, "You're in the elevator." I says, "You say good morning when you meet people." She says, "Not here. You people don't talk to us." So that kind of puzzled me. So I went home and I asked my eldest sister, I said, "Good morning to this lady." And she scrunched up in the elevator and she said, "You people don't talk to me." So my sister was in England before she came over here. So she knows about the racism. She says, "Oh, in England, that's racism." And I'm going, "Racism?" I said, "What is that?" And she says, "Oh no, there's certain white people, you don't talk to them." And I says, "I don't get that." Eh? I says, "I will talk to whoever I want to talk to. If you want to answer, fine. If you don't want to answer," I said, "that's fine too." I said, "But that's not going to stop me from talking to whomever I want to." And like Black Queen says, we are strong Black women, you know, empowered, So I says, "No, I'm not going to do that." But then I experienced another time when I started to work, and I went and applied at this company, as a computer operator. Got the job, right? But then when I looked around in the office, there was no Black people in there. So I was going to be the first Black person in that office. But it's like they had no choice because they needed someone, like who know what they're doing and how to get their system back up. Eh, So I said to the lady, they called me like about 3 times to offer me that job before I got home. Then I'm going to find out that company has been in existence for 25 years and they've never hired any Black person in their office. Eh, I went down one day to their warehouse to check inventory because it wasn't matching what I had on the computer. And couple gentlemen, guys in there, and they says, "Oh, what section are you working in?" And I go, "Pardon?" They say, "What section are you working in?" I says, "Section?" I says, "I work in the office." They says, "What? You're not allowed to be in the office." And I go like, "Why not?" I says, "My education and skills put me in the office and nobody's going to tell me I can't be in the office. Right? So he said, "Well, it's okay to hire Blacks in the warehouse, mm,
Mm.
but not in the office." Yeah. I says, "Well, you come and put me out of the office."
Well, that's
But
right.
then they hired somebody else and he is going to talk down to me. I said, "Let's get something straight." I says, "No one talks down to me." So he says, "Well, if you are not going to listen to what I have to say or listen to how I speak to you, hmm, he says, you know what you can do." And he says, "And you can forget about getting your Christmas turkey this year." You know?
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Trust me, if you guys know
So
Marilyn, she will grab that turkey.
unfortunately,
She will grab 2
eh,
turkeys. If you know
I
Marilyn,
said,
she will run and
"Listen,
grab those
hmm,
turkeys.
I said, you and your turkey, can stick it where the sun don't shine." And I went back, pardon me, and I went back to my desk and I pick up my bag and I walked out. So
Wow.
the CEO that hired me came running after me out of the parking lot. You can't do that. You can't do. I says, go and speak to him. I says, because I've been here. I've worked out your problems. I got your computer back online and working. See? I said, because when I came here, it was a mess. You couldn't get any reports, and you expect me to sit here and take that? I said,
Uh-uh.
sorry. See? I says, I may be black. See? I says, but I don't take that from anybody. I wasn't taught to take that from anybody. And I says, you know what? I say, I respect me. I respect who I am. I says, because I was taught that to respect yourself. Respect starts with you. And I knew that starts with me. Right? So I said, good luck in finding, I said, because I cannot work with someone like that. I says, I appreciate what you did when I started working with you and everything like that. I says, you treated me fairly. I says, but I am not going to take that from anyone. And I left, So, but, as far as I know, I says, God put you in certain places at times. I said, sometimes you are there as a test, to see how you react or how you treat people or how people will treat you. In those days, I wasn't, I would say, a strong Christian at the time, because I think that was the time I had kind of backslid there, but I knew, there is a God, and he was still working in my life. Right? So I said, I will find another job. He will provide me with another job, where I'm being respected and not being talked down to. And 2 days after, I got a call and I got a job. I went in there. There were another company that didn't have blacks in their office, but they had in their warehouse. But I worked with that CEO and that president and their payroll and their executives, and helped out, even training and having some people help some people to keep their jobs. Right? So I says, you are put in places for a reason. The only time, I've learned, you know, you get stuck, you can get stuck, but don't stop. You continue. Yeah, it's just like walking in mud or quicksand. You don't stop, you continue, and you will get out of it. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you so much. And she always says that to me, you guys, in private conversations. She'll always encourage me that way and say some of those things to me as well, which I really do appreciate. I'm surprised you didn't grab that turkey though, or and walk out. Because knowing Marilyn, she will grab that turkey. She will grab two. She will say what's on her
Yeah.
mind, and she'll storm out with those two turkeys. So, you know.
And I think
But
I think it is also important for us as educated Black women, to say to our Caucasian sisters that this is not a bash session or a beat up session,
Hmm.
or that we are not cognizant of the fact that they also go through some level of racism, whether it be from us as sisters, or from whatever. But that this is not the way. It's just a form of ignorance, I find. I don't even want to go and say lack of education or anything. I think it's just being downright ignorant. And in the year 2024, why are we still using this word racism? Um,
Hmm.
but I notice here in Canada now we have commercials that are addressing the situation and basically saying to the blacks, the Chinese, the Native Indians, the Hispanic, do not stand up, and allow racism to continue. So yeah, Honey Flow, you have a wide audience here, and I see some of the comments that are going through, and just to say that I personally, I am not, and I don't think any of the ladies on the panel here that we are ignorant or arrogant people, women, Black women, and not that our strong boldness means that we are not aware or cognizant of the fact that yeah, you also go through stuff, but why do we have to? I mean, like I said, it's 2024. Why are we even still using that word? Why can't we educate ourselves? Why can't we realize that there should be no segregation? And we're talking from way BC, before Christ, way before. It has always been this thing that will not leave the human race, the way in which we look at each other based on our color and our language or where we're from, and that is sad. That saddens my heart. So I just wanted to point that out because I was just looking at some of the comments that we're just going through,
Nice
and
one.
yeah. Mhm.
One of
Yeah,
the
definitely.
one of the comments that was posted before mentioned the word strong, because I think we use that word strong a lot. I can't speak for everyone on this panel, but when I use the word strong to describe, if you want to say Black women, it means resilience. That's how I use that word when I use the word
Yeah.
strong, resilience. And that's something that is embedded in us.
We
Yeah.
get knocked down, but we get back up fighting.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, and you can always hear me talk about my girls. That's one of the things that the reasons why I stayed where I stayed. And I would tell them, I've talked to them and I told them, the things that I've experienced and, different things like that. And I always want them to know that you can always speak up for yourself. Don't let nobody dog you. When they were in school, they went to white school. One thing about it, I told them, I said, don't ever put your hands on nobody, but if they put their hands on you, you bring it. And I said, and I'm your mama, and I will be there. When I tell you I used to go up there anyway. But I just because you're a Black woman don't mean that you can be dogged. You can be talked to any kind of way. I said, and sometimes you just have to remind people in a very stern voice, who you talking to? I know you're not talking to me.
Step back.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to. I never have got nasty with the teachers or anything. But by the way that I looked and the way that I talked, they knew that I meant business. I don't care nothing about you think I'm looking mad. I could care less about that. Because you're talking about my child. You deal with my child every day. You deal with their education every day. And when I tell you I got the most respect from those teachers, and they went over and beyond with my children in their special education, they got stuff they wasn't supposed to get. But I showed up. And that's one thing about Black women. We can assert ourselves. We will assert ourselves. Some of us more aggressively, some of us in our tone, we are going to defend ourselves. They may not like it. I'm not able to give what I get on my job all the time, but I have my way. I have my way, just like you said, Bright Eye Sunflower. Oh, you gonna get her? Oh yeah, I get you. I get you. So it's I don't think that. I think because of everything that we have gone through and that we do go through, I think we're always going to what's always in the back of my mind is I got to come in here and I got to downlive what y'all say about us. And I got to smile and all that different kind of stuff. And my disposition, period, I am the sweetest person. I got a good word for you. I got a hello. I got it. But you know, they know when I take a certain tone, when I, oh, no. So it's important, you know, that we speak up for ourselves. We're a bunch of Black women on here. I don't think anybody ever had a fight.
I have.
The sweetest one that does the soca music? You can't fight over soca music. Bright Eye, you've had a fight? I can't see that.
I had a fight when I was 11, 12 years old and almost lost my life.
Oh,
wow.
I mean,
The mother of the girl came the next day and stabbed me.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Still have the mark right here to prove it.
Wow. It's crazy.
She almost took my life. She almost punctured my lungs. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys.
Yeah. I agree with what all these ladies are saying, and Dr. Miss Pat, Black Queen. And like you said, it's ignorance, and they don't know when it comes to racism. And I find that if you take the time sometimes to explain, you know, to them. I had at the one company I worked at, the second company, and some of the ladies there, they said to me one day, Marilyn, how is it you're comfortable with us? I said, why shouldn't I be comfortable with you? You know, they says, well, we had one lady here before, and she just stayed her probationary period and then she left because she said she cannot talk to us. But how are you comfortable to talk to us? I said, because if I have something to say, I will say it. I'm not going to be afraid to say it or to tell you how I feel. You know, if I don't like it, I say, whether it's the president or the CEO, I says, I will tell them I do not like it or I don't agree with it. Right? So I says, if you have any question, I said, just ask. If I have an answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll tell you, I'll find out and get back to you. So one day, and you know, this lady, she was the oldest one in the office, and she says, Marilyn, can I ask you something? And I go, what's that? She says, I had a neighbor, my Black friend, you know, we were very close. She says, and I always wanted to ask. She says, Black people. She says, why is it, you know, every part of you are Black and the bottom and the sole of your feet are not? It's white. She says, what is that? And I started to laugh. So she says, oh, what's so funny? Did I sound stupid? You know, I says, no, Rita. I say, you don't sound stupid. I says, it's just that God forgot to turn our feet over. And she says, oh, really? And she honestly believed what I said. You know, I says, Rita, I says, come on. I said, I says, when you go into the sun, right, you know, and to get your suntan and so, I says, your color changed too. I says, but have you ever checked the sole of your feet to see if, you know, if it got tanned or it changed? She said, oh, I never thought about it. And she said, but you guys don't tan. I said, of course we tan. She says, but you're already Black. You're already, you know, have that dark complexion. I says, Rita, we can tan and we do get sunburn. So all of these things, they didn't know or they didn't understand, you know, that certain things, I says, things that happen to you happens to us too. right? I says, we're no different. It's just that our color, the pigmentation in our skins are different. I says, if I cut you, I says, what color blood would you bleed? She says, red. I says, the same with me. Hmm? I says, you just can't see just color and believe, that's who that person is. You claim this is it. And I found a lot of that working in the shelter because you had all different races come through the shelter. And that is how, they look at us. They look at the black staff being aggressive, but they will go to a white staff and get the same answer that they got from a black staff, but yet still the black staff was aggressive and rude. So it's still happening, and we just have to take the time, to educate those who want to be educated or who wants to know. Okay.
Can I just make a quick comment?
Hmm.
I was working at the dollar store, and this lady come through the line and she said, "Oh, you look." And I'm like, "No." She's like, she's a movie star and blah blah blah. And she said Napita Nyong'o. I said, "What?" I said, "If you don't get your hillbilly behind out the store, like, really?" That
Can you say that again for us? Can you say the hillbilly thing again one more time? We like that. We don't say that. I'm learning a lot of new words from especially my American friends here. I love that. Get your hillbilly behind out of the store.
I was I'm like, where? And I said, where did she get that from? I don't know. We all don't look alike, dear.
That's true.
We are unique.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say too, yeah, I think it's good. It's definitely about educating others, right? We're not going to know everything, about every culture, even myself, right? Or even my other friends, like Black Queen always says Pakistan. I'm like, I'm not Pakistani, like there's a difference, right? Like we all say different things with different cultures. We're all learning different things as well. So I think it is important, like Marilyn said too, to kind of educate. And you could have asked them, Marilyn, why do they turn orange like in the sun? Like why do they look like lobsters when they've had too much sun out there? Why does that happen? So but I think it's just like we're also learning. That's why I think it's good to have these conversations, because we're not going to know everything, right? What could you say to others to be supportive, like other cultures too, to be supportive, right? Because it is a lot. And actually, yeah, so maybe that might be my next question. What could you say to others out there that may not know everything, like I'm learning myself as well, right? I don't know what it would be like living in Alabama or some of the places you've lived in. I've learned a lot online interviewing people and connecting with them too. Their experiences are quite different from being in Canada as well, right? So what could you say maybe to other cultures to just like get them to understand or be more supportive as well?
I would say just have an open mind and be willing to learn new things. That is the most important thing.
The exposure piece is really huge. And I say that, just because I've opted to remain in Alabama doesn't mean that Alabama is all I know. And so when you start dealing with people, it's like the fear of the unknown, the fear of fear is at the root of a lot of it. And so what I would say would be an echo of what Bright Eyed Sunflower said, is just to be open to learning something that's outside the scope of what is your foundation. Because you really may find out that your foundation is not as solid as it looks to be.
Last night, Marilyn and I were at a function, and the same function, and we had several different people from different islands in the Caribbean there. And just as the doctor said here, we we had to learn to respect the different cultures that fell within these different islands that we were at, the way the things that we eat, and you know, we taught one young man was there at the function, and he grew up with Jamaican Trinidadian parents, and he refuses to eat fish with the head on because that bothers him, right? So it is the exposure and getting to know and to understand that, yeah, while we might live in this era, it is not the all and end all and be all of life. Just get to know, just to get to know what we do. I mean, yeah, jerk chicken is a big deal, but you know, that's not the only thing that Jamaicans are known for. And yeah, you say boat
Let's not
run, but
eat your
that's not the
fish.
only thing. You know what I mean? And I want to go down to Mardi Gras. I want to know more about the South. I want to know more about the different. Seriously, I do. So I think that that's the thing. Come to my island. Come to your place. Let's get to know. Let's get to understand what's happening, and then that will break some of the stereotypes. That will break some of the you know, it's like what you think about me as a Christian. What are you expecting of me? Get to know me, because I do like Miley Cyrus' song. I am a worshiper. I love to sing Christian songs. I love it. But get to know me and get to understand me. You realize that the stereotype or the stereotypical information that you think about me will surprise you. That is just not so.
Yeah. And one thing that was shocking, I might say this, Pat. Pat told me a story that she like did a lot of dance halls back in the day. I nearly like fell over. I was like, what? I'm like, there's no way. Because would I see her?
I wasn't a believer then.
Sorry?
I was saying I wasn't a believer then.
No, but when you're younger, it doesn't matter. But I mean, but I think that is important, because that is a piece of story that people can relate to, right? Like when people don't know, like I was shocked when I DJ'd for Marilyn's thing, and she's like, girlfriend, can you like put on some Bruno Mars, or could you play something else? And I'm like, maybe I should just play gospel music for them. And I'm trying to slip it in. And she came over. She's like, this is a party. Like, what's your problem? Like liven it up a bit. Like, it shocked me. So I think sometimes too, as you're older and you grow in your faith or what you believe in, your convictions, things change, right? And I agree with what Pat said. It's like people prejudge you all the time based on your values. So they may say, oh, she automatically doesn't like this and she hates, you know, these people or that. And they automatically judge you based on like what you believe in and your convictions. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, get to know the person, right? So I agree with what you're saying, Pat, you know, that but I thought that was a good like inside piece of information I learned about you, and it just made me think that we all come from backgrounds and stories, and any of us can change, right? And I thought that was beautiful, like some of the things you shared. Or Marilyn would always talk about driving over to Buffalo and going to all the latest parties and stuff, and I that kind of surprised me. I didn't know that, right? So I'm glad you guys, you know, now everyone.
But as I used to say to you, we all had a life before we got to where we are now. Okay? We just, you know, we just didn't start out and automatically becomes Christian. We had a life before.
No, though. That's good to know.
Yeah, we had a life before.
Yeah.
We danced before. We went to parties before. We drank before.
We don't know that.
You know, yeah, but we had a life.
Yeah,
I knew that.
Yeah.
Convince me for a dance hall. I was trying to convince go to a dance. I might try.
Have a life. Christianity doesn't take away your life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You just learn how to love with the love of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
I try to keep it as simple as I can because I think we overcomplicate Christianity, and that's a whole different
It's all
conversation.
different things. Yep.
No,
Here's
I
what I
agree.
love about my job. I'm saved. I'm
Amen.
sanctified. I'm filled with the Holy Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about my job, see, God put me in that place because my gift is healing. And God placed me in a predominantly white place. Uh, and I have to do his will. I got to move when he tell me to move.
Mm.
So I love my job because I get to talk to people. I get to see these people. And I got to lay hands on these people and I have to pray for these people. And I thank God for putting me in that place because it's helping me to grow even more in him, in his will, to do his work. I've had a lot of stuff done to me by
Uh, sorry, I hate to interrupt. There's like a lot of feedback.
It's a hippo.
Is someone listening on another device? Try to listen just through StreamYards because if you listen or have another device open, then there's a lot of feedback. We're gonna get right back to She's First Lady, but Bright Eye Sunflower, I think she was saying something. It's late there too, right? In the Netherlands?
Yes, it is 20 to 10. So if you want the music and dancing, we got to do it now, or they will call the police to
It's-
shut the party down.
Don't worry, my landlord's calling the police when I'm talking after 10 p.m. So I get it. That's why I'm a mute box. But okay, how about we if we could shift then because I know it's getting late in the Netherlands, but I'm going to go back to She's First Lady. So this is one thing that I love about Bright Eye Sunflower. She literally changed back into her tights to show us her dance moves. We're going to just shift it and do something a little bit different. She's definitely comfortable in her own skin. You know, she does motivational shows, but she also is expressive through dance. She does the splits, she does handstands on the wall, she does soca. So I asked to kind of put her on the spot if she can just show us like a few dance moves that obviously I don't have. If she wanted to do that for us.
No.
It doesn't have to be the whole song. It could just be like, like a minute or something. But we are demanding.
Okay.
We do want to see the splits, the handstands, and everything you
Just
do.
let me know if you could hear the song, the music, because I find StreamYard is sometimes is a bit.
Oh, everyone's waiting for them. Everyone's waiting.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna come.
I love it though, guys. It's so awesome. How do I blow her up? How do I do this? The Skrillex Tina, is she still in the room? How do I do this? Do I have to click on her picture? Let's see here. I don't know how to do this. Oh, shoot. How do I do this? Okay, where's she at? I think I have to move her. Oh, sorry. I'm still trying to get familiar. Okay, does that work? Okay, good. Perfect. I think she's on a bigger
Can you hear the
screen.
music?
Not really.
No?
Okay, yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of. It doesn't matter. We're watching her anyways. Woohoo! Change her sound to stereo. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, she's definitely got the
Good girl.
moves. JUK, she's got the moves. She's amazing. Oh my goodness. I'm starting to feel very lazy watching her. Can you guys hear the music?
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting for the split.
I
Me
know.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Waiting for the split and the handstand. There's no
And the
excuse for any.
handstand.
And the
Not
handstand, you know?
Handstand, yes.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for any of us to not dance and be active. It's a little low. Okay, I'm trying to fix the. Oh.
All right. See the split.
See those splits? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
that was a split.
can't even do a cartwheel. Was this girl a cheerleader? I was a
Handstand.
cheerleader back then. Can't even do a cartwheel. She's such a great dancer, guys. We're waiting for the handstand on the wall. So she'll do a lot of soca music. She's being very calm on the Honey Flow show, guys.
Every.
What
We
about
not
the
gonna do
handstand?
the handstand?
What about the handstand on the wall?
You want the handstand on the wall?
Yeah, you're being tame on
Okay,
the
I'm
Honey
gonna give
Flow
you another
show.
song then.
We just want to see the handstand.
Just the hand.
How
You just
in the
want to
world
see
do
the
you,
handstand.
how do you do that? What
Okay.
compelled you? Oh, hey, I can
Let's
just
do
do
the
the splits on the wall.
handstand then.
Like how did you learn to do handstands on the wall? Like I can't figure this out. She can get wild, guys. She's being very tame for us right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she's taking off the frame. Like I'm gonna try, but I'm probably gonna fall on my wall.
Oh dear.
I need extra padding. I need pillows.
Please do not cry.
Lots of people to see me dance.
There would be holes in my wall.
Yeah, Clark, you should change into her pants for me. Oh my goodness.
Oh, she
That
got
is
it. No problem.
amazing.
Go, girl. There ain't nowhere I can do that.
Yeah.
Work, work. No, work.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really lazy right now. I'm feeling like super lazy, guys.
That is amazing. Yay.
That's easy, Clark. You know that isn't. Are you kidding me? I know it's incredible. Bronx. I think she's was it 60 or 61 years old doing the hand.
Run, Harlem girl.
That was easy when I was 12.
Love it. Yay. That was amazing.
It was awesome.
Yay.
Can you teach us, please? Can you teach us how to do that?
Yes.
Have you been doing it for a while?
Well, that was it. Nothing too much.
Nothing too much. None of us could do that on the wall. What do you mean?
I love
Nothing
when she stands on her head. I love that.
Right. That was amazing. Look, you're in a class by yourself on that one.
Yeah.
Hurry.
Dr. Dady Priest. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so true. I know you probably got to leave soon, right, Bright Eye? Because I know it's kind of late there.
No, actually, no.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to get that music in before the clock struck
Yes.
10.
No, that's awesome. What compelled you to just like? I guess you've always been a dancer, but do you go to
I've
a lot
been
of
dancing since I'm 7.
Wow.
My first, I went to a school fete. They call it a fete in the Caribbean. And they had a dancing competition. And me and my sister were standing there, and someone said, "Go ahead, go dance." And went on the stage. And since then, I've been dancing on stage,
Wow.
cultural
That's
dancing. I was in a group, the Soul Train Dancers,
Oh,
Tens
wow.
of Split, and all those things. So I
wow.
dance anything and everything.
Yeah, amazing. And you go bike riding too, like you're pretty active, right?
Cycling is my mode of transport. You drive. I'm a driver's license holder. I can drive as well, but I
Yes,
cycle
that.
to work. I cycle everywhere.
Wow.
I cycle to do my groceries. My bicycle bag is over the back of my bike, and I put the groceries in.
Oh, I'm getting the feedback again.
I
Maybe
don't
I
know.
got
It has noise canceling on and everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's okay. I don't know. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. Not sure. All right. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for doing that. Thanks for being a good sport because I put her on the spot last minute, guys, and she had to put some tights on. I literally put her on the spot saying that, so I appreciate it. Let's see. I just wanted to also kind of shift and ask you guys. If you had to go back in time, knowing what you've learned just about life in general, what would you tell your 13-year-old self or that girl? Like, what advice would you give that young girl, your younger self? If
Okay,
anyone
so
wants to jump in.
it,
Oh, okay,
it's
Pat.
it's 4:53, and I am going to have to jump off at 5 because I have another meeting coming. But I looked at that question too, and I pondered it. And if I were, I loved my teenage life. I really did. All the things that I shouldn't be doing, I did when I was a teenager. So if I was to go back and go to my 13-year-old Pat, I would say to her, "Girl, live your life. Live your life.
Really interesting.
Don't let anything stop you because it's a gift from God. He already knew the mistakes I was gonna make. He knew where I was gonna the things I was gonna do wrong. He knew the things I was gonna do right. Live my life. Don't listen to what people have to say. Don't listen to the criticism. Don't listen to the do's and the don't. Live your life, 13-year-old Patricia. Live your life.
I love that. And I know you got to get going. And I'm going to actually ask one more question back to you before I get everyone else because I know you got to get going. And we're going to wrap it up too soon. I know I could chop it up another like 5 hours with you guys, but I'm trying to respect your time too. So I'm going to go back to you, Patricia. I don't think we say this enough as women, especially like for ourselves, recognize that in each other. But what's something that you love about yourself?
Oh my gosh.
Or a few things or a bunch of things.
No, I actually am anal. I love me. No, seriously, I do. I love who I have become. I love who God has brought who I am now. I do. I really love me, and I love the fact that I can share this love that I have for me with other people. Like seriously, if I come to talk to you and you're in a funk, I'm gonna talk to you about how beautiful it is to love yourself because I know I love me. So that's the answer to my question.
I love that. That's awesome. So Bright Eye Sunflower, going back to you, what would you, if you had to go back in time, what would you tell that 13-year-old self of yours, that girl?
At the age of 13, I was at my peak. I was so inspired. That is when I learned all my hidden talents, who I am. And I wouldn't change anything at 13. But what I would say to young girls at 13, find every diamond within yourself and never be an hand towel for any young man. My great grandmother always used to say, "No make no man you take him use as a hand towel." That is dialect, but it basically means, you know how as teenagers growing up, the feely touchy thing, that was discouraged. It means that's the hand towel part of it. So you have to teach the teenagers at 13, at a very vulnerable age, to command respect for themselves, because there's going to come a time when they're not going to want to be touched like that, and the person is going to embarrass them. What are you playing at? I'm accustomed to do this and that, and now. So always command respect for yourself.
All right. I love that. That's a great answer.
Nice.
Yes. And Black Queen for life. What would you tell your 13-year-old self as well, that girl? And oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, I got to go back to Bright Eye. What is one thing that you love about yourself as well?
What I love about
Or a
myself,
few.
I love that I can be myself. I can explore myself. I don't have to be afraid of anything about myself, because knowing who I am is empowering myself. And that is what I love about myself, that I have no boundaries. And when I say have no boundaries, I mean I have boundaries with people, but have no boundaries in the things that I can do or explore or accomplish. That is what I love about myself. I'm fearless.
I love that. Amazing.
Love that. Yeah.
Black Queen for life. So what's something you would like to change about, or not change, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self? And what do you love about yourself as well?
I think the advice that I would give myself at 13 is what I give my kids now. And every time they leave the house, I tell them, be the best that you can be in everything that you do. Every time they leave the house, I tell them, same thing over and over. Be the best you can be in everything, and love people and treat people with respect. That's what I tell them from they were children, leaving the house, going to school. So I would tell my 13-year-old self that. Be the best in everything that you do.
I love that.
What was your second question?
What are a few things?
What do I love about myself? I echo Pat all the way through. I love everything about myself. I am a very confident person. There's nothing that I think I don't deserve. But one of the things that I do particularly find myself good at is, I guess, just listening to people, being there for people, encouraging people. I'm a very good encourager, and I like that. At first, I was not receptive of it. I didn't like it because I felt like it was burdensome, and I said, like, oh God, why are you giving me this? I don't want this. But now, as I get older, I learn how to just walk in that gift.
That's awesome. I love that. She's definitely been a great friend and sister and encourager to me, you guys. Over the years, I've been so grateful to get to know her on a deeper level as well. And, and definitely probably the most confident friend out of the hundreds of people I've met here. Black Queen is that. So I in a humble way, not in a cocky.
A part of that too is being authentically you. Be authentically you. I love that about people. When I meet people and they're authentically themselves, I think you mentioned it earlier also, DJ Floyd, that speaks volumes to other people that are, around you.
I love real people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
true. Definitely so true. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. That's great. And then we got Dr. Dady Priest with something you would tell your 13-year-old self, and what are some things that you love about yourself too?
So I would tell my 13-year-old self the same things that I tell people now, and I tell myself that it's going to be okay to engage in self-talk, to sort of walk boldly and confidently. Although I've always had this countenance as a younger person, especially growing up in the South, it was not always encouraged. And so having to learn to navigate that and be fearless. And so I would, tell her, hey, keep walking, go forth scared, go forth, do whatever. Just do it knowing the outcome is going to be what you want it to be. And don't listen to anyone else, don't listen to the naysayers. And in terms of what I like about myself, I'm a leadership coach. So I coach, I build resilience and build capacity for growth and development in people. That's not just my professional niche, that's my personal niche also. So just encouraging people to throw caution to the wind and tell them, you can do it, you got it, don't worry about it, don't be scared, use your voice. That is my gift. So using my agency for good. So that's what I like about myself, is that I have the ability to inspire people to become the best that they can be, and my sense of resilience and fortitude.
Love that. That's awesome. And Marilyn, what would you tell your 13-year-old self, and what are some things that you love about yourself as well?
My 13-year-old self was bullied badly by a teacher. But my grandmother and a very nice teacher, who kind of took me under her wings. And she said, everything that's being said or being done to you, don't let that define who you're going to be. And I've worked with that. I said, and from that day, I says, I am not going to let anyone, bullies or not, tell me who I am going to be. And I showed that teacher, because she came to Canada and she saw me. And I told her, I says, look, I say, your words did not keep me down or define who I turned out to be. So yeah, I will tell my 13-year-old self that. Because I think I turned out pretty good.
You did.
I've learned respect, and like I said, I says respect. My grandmother taught me respect starts with you. You respect you. So if you don't respect you, how would you expect anybody else out there to respect you or respect who you are? And that is what I will tell my 13-year-old self. That is what I drilled into my daughter. Respect yourself and respect who you are. I says respect. I will tell the kids that at the shelter. I say respect get you into doors. Not even just the children, adults. Respect get you into doors.
Absolutely.
I says a respectful person would walk through a door much faster than someone who is rude and undisciplined. Okay? And some of them try to prove what I was saying, and come back to tell me, I was right. See? I says, just be respectful. Wherever you go, it gets you into doors. So I will forever preach that to my 13-year-old self and to anyone around me, young or old. And I used to love being around seniors. Yeah, love being around seniors because they're a wealth of information. If you want to know or learn anything, just sit with some seniors. So from my 13-year-old self or younger, I always used to do that. sit among seniors and just listen. Mind you, you cannot say anything because in those days back home, you were seen but not heard, right? So you listen, and I did a lot of that. And I thank God for that, and for the seniors that were in my life. Mm. I also want to say, you know, what I've learned as well, I've learned to use what I have, not what I don't have. Mm. Because if you sit there and you say, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that, so I can't do, that put a stumbling block in your way, and you will try nothing. And I tried everything. Mm. Like Honey Flo can tell you, I've tried everything. I'm into everything. Yeah. I think when she met me first, I think I was in the play,
I think
at
so.
the church. I think I was in the passion play. I tried everything. And I think I was the first person, the first woman to play a man's role in that church after they've been doing that play for over 30 something years. Right? So like I says, if you get the opportunity, try. You will never know if you fail if you don't try. You have to try. Right? And what was your other question?
Okay, and then the other
Oh, my
question was what you love about
what?
yourself.
Oh my goodness. I love me and who I turned out to be and how strong and resilient I am. Because, DJ and Black Queen and Miss Pat know what I've gone through and still going through, like for the past 3 years. Mm. And if I wasn't that kind of person, that I, turned out to be, right, I don't think there was any way I would have given a diagnosis of stage 4 cancer and 6 to 12 months to be here. Mm. And I'm telling you and anyone out there, eh, if you have faith and you trust in the God, eh, that brought you into this world, mm, he never starts anything that he doesn't finish. And right now I know, mm, he's not finished with me yet. I still have things to do. He still have a job for me to do. That is why I'm on this line with all of you ladies right now and whoever is listening. Mm. Have your faith and your hope and you hold on to that God. Eh? Because, I says, I am washed, in the precious blood of my
Yes,
King Jesus.
yes.
Mm.
Don't get started.
And
Oh Lord.
he will see me through. Mm.
Yeah.
I says, every morning I got up and I give him praise. Mm. I give him praise for getting my feet down on the ground. Eh? And I give him praise for the breath in my lungs. Eh? So every day is special to me. Mm. Every day I thank him because from 6 months, mm, to 2.5 years, my God has been carrying me through. Mm. And he's still carrying me because I know and I believe, eh, he's not finished with me. Mm. I still have a job to do. And one of my prayers is that he will direct me at the right appointed time why I'm still here. Mm. Until then, I will keep pressing on, ladies. That's why I love who I am,
Amen.
and who I turned out to be. Because from a young age, I had suffered with asthma badly.
Mm.
Eh, People didn't know I would survive or if I would still be there. At 7 or 8, they thought, you know, I was gone.
Mm.
I wouldn't survive. Eh, But I had a grandmother who was resilient and determined. Mm. So the doctors were there. Yeah, and I thank God for doctors, mm, and the knowledge that God gave them, right? But still, eh, there are other things, and you still have to believe in that God eh, that gave you life. Mm. I know this disease is not from Him, because He created me perfect. Mm. And He can knit every cell back in my body eh, to what it's supposed to be and what it was. Eh, You know, I trust Him. Mm. Lord, do I trust Him. Mm. So thank you, ladies, for this opportunity to be here with each and every one of you and to share. Miss Pat, Black Queen, DJ Oniflow, you guys were there with me. You walk along with me. Mm. When I couldn't breathe for months, I had no voice. Mm. But you were still there. You communicated with me, mm, through whatever means necessary, but the support, you supported me, you encouraged me, you walked along with me. Thank you. I will forever be grateful. Okay? Thank you.
God is good.
Amen.
Thanks for sharing, Marilyn, too. We love you, definitely love you. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that with every one. I know there's like people going through cancer and so many people like DMing and just like going through a lot right now in hospitals and that sort of thing. And I've never heard Marilyn complain. Like she's always had an optimistic attitude. I mean, the only time she complains is with my driving because it's atrocious. It's horrible. But like, I have to put a joke in there, or else I'm just going to start crying. But yeah, we love you. We appreciate you, and honestly, the last couple months have been like amazing with you. Just spending time with you, hanging out with you, and it's just bringing me back to old times and some of the things that we know that we lost out here, including friendships or family or people, right? So it's been so good just spending those moments with you as well. So make sure you guys definitely pray, keep Marilyn in your prayers. She's very positive and and whatever the doctors are saying, clearly something is happening. She's outliving whatever the doctors may say. She's still here. She's still with us and she's still present. And it's so important to just spend the time and tell people how much you love them now, right? So I thank you so much. It's so dear to my heart today for you coming like on this panel, with me as well. It means a lot. So, and she's been with us for over 3 hours. So that's a lot when you're going through chemo treatments and different things too. So, thank you. I love you so much, Marilyn. You're not just
Thank
a friend.
you.
You're like a sister, an older sister to me, too. So, she's first lady. We're going to wrap it up as well, but she's first lady we'll get to that question as well. What would you tell your 13-year-old self, and what are some things that you love about yourself as well?
I hated my 13-year-old self because I was an overweight kid, and I got teased and I got bullied a lot. So I would tell 13-year-old Sheila, girl, your walk and purpose in God, you ain't seen nothing yet. Hold on. You gonna be so dope. You got a good husband that love you. You gonna have kids that love you. Just hold on. It's gonna be all right. And what I love about myself, I love my smile. I love my cheeks. It took me a long time to love my cheeks. Everybody used to always pinch them. But people know me by my smile. And a lot of people say, just you smiling makes me happy. I could come in the room and I just love to talk and be around people, and I'll just start talking and smiling. And they like, oh, I love your smile. So, and that was inherited. All this was inherited from my mother. So that's what it would be.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. When I saw you come on, I noticed that was the first thing I noticed was your beautiful smile when you came on, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of like, even though you guys don't look alike, but there's just something that reminds me. It's like that Jill Scott, like that radiating, beautiful smile. You definitely have that for sure.
DJ Honey Flo.
Yep.
Oh, what would you tell your 13-year-old self, and what do you love about yourself?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes.
I'm the facilitator. No one's supposed to ask me that question. I wasn't.
We're going to wrap it up with you answering that question.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to get you after this, Black Queen. I didn't even think about that. I'd have to, now she's going to make me stutter. Let's see. What would I tell my 13-year-old self? Oh my goodness. I think I would, oh gosh, why do you have to bring this question back to me? This is what friends do. Good friends do. 13-year-old self, I would definitely say that things will be okay, but I think I'm still going through that process. So I think sometimes you can live your life like in fight and flight so much with everything, especially being a woman, right? Like having to take on responsibility, having to take on so much. I think I would tell my 13-year-old self that everything will be okay. And, for those that have faith in this room and that do believe that even if everything is chaos in your life and everything is not okay, that like God will truly provide, he'll provide a way, whether it's shelter, food, good friendships, like I have on the panel here, right? A few people that know me very closely. So I think that's what I would tell my 13-year-old self, to just maybe relax. And, if you get laid off from a job, don't worry. Like he'll provide. If you lose a place, don't worry. He'll, I've seen it time and time again. He's doubled my salaries in the corporate world. I've lost places. He's brought places. I've lost a car. He brought a new car to me, like all this crazy chaos. You learn the biggest lessons. At least I have. So I would definitely say that everything will be okay, and to worry less and to just trust him more. But I'm definitely still working on that. And then what I love about myself, I think I have a pretty decent smile. I like my smile. I think besides physical attributes, I would say my heart. I feel like he's working on my heart right now in the last couple of years with people and meeting so many different people. And I think sometimes we think we know how to love, but we really don't. So for me, I think that's probably the best attribute right now that I could say is my heart, because I really do love people. I may not say all the correct things, but I do truly love people. And he's working on that in me even more. So yeah, I think those are my answers. Thank you, Black Queen. I'm going to get you after. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming through. This has been such an awesome panel. Thank you guys for being here for 3 hours and 20 minutes with me. I knew all you guys together would just spark more of a richer conversation, which I was looking for. And I highly respect every single one of you, women watching your shows, seeing what you do. You have so much to offer the world and people, and I really have learned a lot of lessons from each of you. Even though like Dr. Dady Priest, Bright Eyes, their shows, listening to them, I've learned a lot from them, and of course, the rest on the panel that know me. So thank you guys so much for coming through. And everyone in the chat, I missed all you guys, wasn't able to shout all you guys out. Thank you for all the bits and subs. I think we had, I always say the name wrong. Is it EDAC Best or UDAC Best? Thank you for the bits. Yoshi Sun earlier. We got M. Lewis, Tilt earlier with the subs. Alex Mejia with the 5 gifted subs. DJ Calmoney D and Fukuna as well with the gifted sub earlier. Thank you guys. Bless up to you as well. So we are going to see who we could raid into. Before we raid out to, we're going to raid into another show. Do you guys just want to say, I guess quickly, where people can find you if you do a show online? Just mention when it is and where they can find you and your next show. And if you don't, could they find you on Instagram or any of your social media? If you could just let people know, that would be great before we raid out. So Pat, we'll start with you. I like putting you on the spot. You're on mic. Because Pat would always call us out. She'd be like,
I know it's payback. No, I am not. I mean, like, my name is out there. So therefore, Facebook, that's the only, I have nothing that I have put together as yet. So I might be following you guys more than you following me.
Yeah. So when you do, just message me when you come up with a name and you start your consulting or teaching. Let me know, and then I'll definitely put it out there. Because people need to get a hold of Patricia, you guys. She's an amazing teacher. So you definitely need to connect with her. Okay. All right. Bright Eye?
You can find me on Twitch, Bright Eye Sunflower. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm a podcaster. My stream is in 2 parts. First, the topic, conversation, and then the dancing. So that's just what I do.
All right. Black Queen as well?
I'm not a fan of social media, to be honest. I'm on it, but if you try to get me on it, you probably won't. So we'll leave it at that.
What about your event page? What about your events?
I have not actually put up a page yet that will link people to it. It's more close friends and family right now. So as I get more time, because I have a course that I'm doing right now, for whatever reason, I've started another course. Once I get more time, I will probably do something like that, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely let me know. And you know me, I'll definitely put it out there and mark it. All right. And Dr. Dady Priest.
Hi. So Engagement Matters turns 3 this week. So we will be having our celebratory stream tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So would love if all of you just could come celebrate with us. And I'll have some news that I'm sharing later this week. I'm releasing like a mini book and a workbook. So I'm excited, just delving into other things. So, but I always say the tumultuous times were necessary because I didn't lose, I learned, and I was catapulted into learning how to do other things. So thank you so much, Honey Flow, for always sharing your platform, inviting people in, sharing your vision. It is definitely appreciated. And ladies, it was wonderful just being in your midst. The wisdom, the knowledge. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. And Marilyn, you're not a huge social media person either, right?
That's right. Yeah, I try
Exactly.
to stay away from the negativity, especially
I hear
since since I was diagnosed. I just wanted to deal with, with the positive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And stay away with the negativity. Yeah.
Which definitely makes sense. So make sure you guys keep her in her prayers, you guys, as well. We're about to raid out. I'll probably hydrate after. I just saw you posted that, Spartacus. So thank you. Let's see here. And then she's first, Lady T-Rail.
I don't stream, but I'm for my husband, DJ T-Rail. Don't ask me when, because I'm tired right now. I don't know. I work with a group of DJs, the GDs. I'm mod for them. I have Raid, Bad Girl Raid coming up April the 5th. I mod for the heavy hitters. Yeah, so you would catch me in people's stream. I don't stream.
Okay, actually, is your husband on right now?
Yeah, he's on.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we just raid into him so people could see?
Excellent idea.
Yeah, because I was looking while I was listening to you guys, and I'm like, why don't we raid into DJ T-Rail? That's awesome. I didn't realize he was on. I just saw him. Okay, awesome. So you guys, we're gonna. That's what we do here on Twitch. We raid into shows. So thank you, Pat, for coming through. Everyone else, make sure you guys are following each other, connecting. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We're gonna raid into DJ T-Rail, which is she's First Lady T-Rail's husband, and we may see she's First Lady do her thing up there with her husband as well. I'm going to drill them with a lot of questions too. So,
Thank you so much, DJ Honeyflow. I appreciate the love. You always put on a great show, and this was outstanding. And thank you for considering me for being a part of the panel. It was lovely meeting all of you and sharing our experiences together. Walk by
Thank you.
faith. Please. Walk
Yes.
by faith.
Yes.
And Doctor, I will try to pop into your thing tomorrow, 5:30, 5 o'clock. We'll see, but the aim is to be there. So if you see me, you see me.
Yeah, and she's
Sundays is my normal streaming time, and I know you may be in church, but Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern is my typical streaming day, and Tuesdays are usually pop-ups because I had just in real life schedule change. So, but thank you. Anytime you can pop up is fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it was great meeting you, Miss Pat.
Yeah, same here. You guys, all of you inspired me. Take care.
Yeah.
Love you all. God bless, and we'll see you on the other
And Miss
side of
Muriel.
goodness.
See you on the other side.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye.
exactly. All right. So we're gonna raid out right now, and they're not Twitchers at all. So that's amazing that she said she'll jump on Twitch. I probably have to show her. But yeah, so we're gonna raid out, guys. We're going to raid out right now to DJ T-Rail. So thank you, everyone in the chat. This has been such a great conversation. Check out the replay on Twitch under DJ Honeyflow, or you could go to YouTube or, actually probably YouTube or Twitch. You could catch the replay there. Well, thank you guys again for coming through. It's been awesome. I'll have you back on again. And thank you for your insight, your input, and just sharing your experiences too. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see. I think the raid is just about to head out. Okay, roses are red. I see everyone in the chat. Thank you guys. So stick around, you guys, for the raid. We're going to go to she's First Lady T-Rail, her husband. And for all you guys that missed it, they've been married 29 years. She does a show with her husband, and it's perfect that he just popped up so we can definitely raid in. Thanks, Bright Eye, for staying so long too, because I know it's getting late in the Netherlands, and Marilyn as well, staying for so long. Yeah,
10:30.
Oh, 10:30. Oh, wow. We got Music Lover, Stina, thank you so much for staying this whole time. Dr. Dady Priest, Mooses, Joe So Fab, I got to have you on. Okay, I think it just rated out. Oh, there's her husband. You can see them, the DJ behind her as well. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try re-rating, and I think that's good. And then I think we're good to go. So thank you again, you guys, for the support coming through today.
You're
This
welcome.
the women's another women's panel. I think 10 people. It's going to be different, busy, of DJs and streamers. 10 people this Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out, you guys.
Will do.
Okay. So I think it just rated out. Okay, perfect.
Yes, you did.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.
Oh, you take care.
Yes.
And I'll
Bye.
be praying for you, Marilyn.
You're welcome. It was awesome meeting you. And you're dancing.
My sister also is a cancer. She has lung cancer.
Yeah.
She was a breast cancer survivor, and she was 10 years in remission. And the cancer came back in her lungs. She was in the chat earlier. So
Okay.
I know how that goes. So
Yeah.
keep the faith.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, I have to.
All right.
I have to. All right.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
so much.
Take care.
Bye,
Love
honey
you guys.
Flo.
Okay, take care, you guys. Take care. I love you lots, Marilyn.
Bye. Bye.
Wait. See you guys.
Mhm.
See you soon.